Welcome to Byju's IAS. Am I audible and visible? Good morning, everyone. Am I audible and visible? Good morning, everyone. Am I audible and visible? Good morning, Madhuri. Vanchika. Thank you. I'm audible and visible. Great. Let some more people join in and then I'll begin. Parshuram, Anand, Purvita, Zainab, Madhuri. Manpreet, good morning. Rajiv. Satyanarayana, good morning. Binata. Right. So, once again, good morning. I had completed a few topics from art and culture section. So let me just review that. So in the art and culture section, till the 14th of this month, the last class we had was on the 14th. I covered the following topics till then. That is, I have done religious movements. So we began our survey of art and culture from there, including Buddhism. So I've completed Buddhism, I've completed Jainism, Bhagavatism, and Shaivism. Bhagavatism as well as Shaivism. Right? Then, because of certain technical issues and some family emergency, I could not take classes. Yesterday also, I had not notified any class. I had told that I require one Sunday. So there was a medical emergency at home, and my wife was in the hospital, so I could not take any classes. Even the weekday class, I had to cancel because of that reason. So I apologies for that, but then my mind was not free. But today I'll finish the art and culture pending portions, and some additional material will be sent to you. Word file will be sent to you in some time, right? So apologies for that. So I have finished the following topics: religious movements. That was the first chapter. Then I completed art and architecture. Art and architecture I completed entire study of art and architecture, 5,000 years of art and architecture. Then we completed Indian literature. I have completed Indian literature. Then number 4, philosophy. So I have completed philosophy. Then I began with Bhakti movement and I finished Bhakti movement. Bhakti movement. So today, I have completed all these topics. So here today I will be doing the following topics: Sufi movement. So we will start with Sufi movement, that is medieval um, religious movements. So Sufi movement, I'll today want to finish that. Then we will do dance, Indian dance. Number 3, I will be covering painting, Indian painting. So that is a major topic for today, Indian painting. Then, of course, I will be doing science and technology in ancient and medieval times. Ancient times. Then education. We'll be doing about education in ancient and medieval India. And of course, music, Indian music. right? So I'll be covering all these topics today. It won't take much time. It's not necessary that I do till 8 o'clock today. I should be able to finish maximum by 5 or 6 o'clock. So, and then of course, previous year question papers, the model answers will be shared with you. Um, so let's come back here, right? So we will complete all these topics. Import. So I have told you there are 8 major topics, which is very important from the exam point of view, from the mains point of view, and also prelims. One is of course religious movements, then art and architecture, literature, religion and philosophy, bhakti and Sufi movements, dance, painting, science and tech, education, music. So these are the topics, 8 topics: art and architecture, painting, music, dance, literature, science and tech, religion and philosophy, and music, and education. So that should be um, the thoroughly studied in a detailed manner. So we'll come back here. Clear, all of you? Right? So we will start with the Sufi movement today. So let us start with Sufi movement. So what is the Sufi movement? Sufism. So understand this. I'll give you the gist of it. Sufi movement. In simple language, the Bhakti saints among Muslims can be called the Sufis. The Bhakti saints among Muslims can be called as Sufis. The word Sufi is from the word Suf, I believe, uh, or wool. It is another word for Islamic mysticism. It's another word for Islamic mysticism. We have Abul Fazl. So Abul Fazl was a minister in Akbar's court. Abul Fazl, Emperor Akbar's court. He writes a book called Aini Akbari. One of the books he wrote was Aini Akbari. In that book, he gives 14 orders or silsilas. He gives the list of 14 orders or silsilas. 14 Sufi orders or silsilas. He gives us the list of these Sufi orders. Basically, the Sufis, like Bhakti saints, wanted to establish a connection between the devotee and God through rituals, through prayers, through a pure heart. Including many of the Sufi saints, they practiced sama musical gatherings, particularly the Chisti saints. Like we do bhajan, among Hindus, you have bhajan. Like that, you have the Sufis, particularly the Chisti saints, who created a sama or musical through musical gatherings. They tried to create a spiritual ecstasy or nearness to God. Now, among the Sufi orders, the most important in India were the Chisti and the Suravardi. Chisti and the Suravardi orders were the most important Sufi orders in India, though there were 14 of them throughout the world. Most all the Sufi orders were established outside India. Now, basically, understand this: there was a guru. So, there was a Sufi guru. He was called a pir. Okay, he was called a pir. So he was the teacher, the Sufi teacher, and he stayed along with students called murids. So you have a teacher, pir, who stayed along with his students called murids. Murid were student. Murids were students. Murids. And along with his students, the teacher stayed in a kanka or a hospice. Kanka is a hospice, something like a hostel, hospice. So they stayed in a hospice or a kanka. And what was the duty of the murid? To serve the teacher, whatever the teacher told them they were supposed to do. And they would pray together. They will pray together. They will eat together. And they'll all stay in that same building or a kanka. Then the teacher, the peer, would to choose a disciple amongst them as his successor, and he was called a wali. So wali would be one of the students, maybe the best student of the teacher, will be chosen by the teacher as his successor. So he was called a wali. So wali was the successor to the teacher. Right now, um, so this is known as Sufism as such. Um, then you see, um, It is a common term for Islamic mysticism, as I told you. Now, among the Sufi orders, the most important are the Chistis and the Suravardis. In fact, the Chisti order is the most important. And why did they become very important in India? Because when they came into India, in fact, it was introduced by Khwaja Moinuddin Chisti into India. So, sometime in the 12th century, 1193 or so, we have Khwaja Moinuddin Chisti. Khwaja Moinuddin, he came to Ajmer in Rajasthan. He stayed in Ajmer for some time. So rather, he came to Lahore. He first came to Lahore in Pakistan, and from Lahore he came to Ajmer in Rajasthan. And Ajmer became the headquarters of Khwaja Moinuddin Chishti. In fact, the Chishti order was established by Khwaja Abd al Chist. It was established by a person called Khwaja Abd al Chist in Herat, sometime somewhere in Iraq, and his disciple called Khwaja Moinuddin came to India and established his headquarters at Ajmer. Um, Chishti saints became very popular because they adopted many Hindu practices in the initial stages of their life in India or stay in India. They adopted many Hindu practices. For example, Khwaja Moinuddin Chishti, he was the one who adopted Sama or musical gatherings. So, along with his students, they will all sit together and pray together. They will create music. They will create music and they will pray to God. So, musical gatherings called Sama. So, many of them followed that. Then many of them pierce their earlobes. Like among Hindus, you have piercing of earlobes. So they pierced earlobes. Many of them also shaved their head, like you have young babies. Among Hindus, you have the naming ceremony where the baby's head is shaved. Similarly, the Sufis also adopted the practice of shaving the head. Then you have Nizamuddin Aulia, one of the famous Chisti saints, one of the disciples of Khwaja Moinuddin Chisti, who was perfect at performing yoga. He was called Siddh or perfect, Nizamuddin Aulia. And we have discussed about Nizamuddin Aulia briefly when I did the Tughlaq dynasty. Nizamuddin Aulia, you remember, he was the one who prophesied that the Sultan will not come back alive to Delhi. That is the founder of the Tughlaq dynasty, Ghiyazuddin Tughlaq, was going on his Bengal campaign, and there was a revolt in Bengal, and Nizamuddin Aulia was the one who predicted that the Sultan will not come back alive to Delhi. So Nizamuddin Aulia's dargah was built in Delhi by Muhammad bin Tughlaq later. Muhammad bin Tughlaq built his dargah. So Nizamuddin Aulia saw the rule of seven Delhi Sultans. He saw the rule of seven Delhi Sultans, and his dargah was built later in Delhi by Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Now, before a person, um, you know, um, just hold on. Yeah. So here, there are 10 stages. Just take down this. Just take down some points here, all of you. Hello, are you there? Till here, are you clear? Till here, are you very clear? Was it clear? So you have Islamic mysticism among Islam is called Sufism, Islamic mysticism. So they basically focused on bhakti or devotion to God, and they also practiced meditation. Then sama or musical gatherings like the Chistis followed that, and the aim was to reach God or to realize God, and they treated everybody equally. So they focused on social equality. They used simple methods of prayers, and all sections of people were allowed into a hospice. So one of the reasons why Sufism became popular was that because most of these Sufi saints lived a very poor life. They never interfered in other people's lives. They focused on spiritual pursuits. They also begged their food and ate. And people like the Chistis became very popular because for them um, wealth was to be abhorred. So if you have wealth, God will be that much further away from you. So then wealth was hated or abhorred by the Chistis particularly. Whereas the Suravardis felt that wealth was not a crime. Having wealth is not a crime. And in fact, many of the Suravardi saints held important positions in the government, including particularly in the religious department or the ecclesiastical department. ecclesiastical department, that is religious department. I use simple words. So they held important positions in the religious department of the government. Whereas Chistis purposely, even if wealth was given to a Chisti saint, he will not accept it, because it was wealth as such was abhorred. So many of the lower castes, particularly the Shudras, they were welcomed into the Kanka or the hospice. Unlike where in among Hindus, the Shudras were not allowed into a temple. Whereas in a hospice or a kanka where the Sufi saints lived along with his teachers, anybody came, they were welcome, they were brought, they could come and sit along with them, eat their food, even pray for that matter. So here, over a period of time, many of the lower caste, particularly the Shudras, converted themselves to Islam because the Sufi saints and his students were treating the Shudras as equals. They were not looked down upon. So, particularly in the region of Bengal, many of the Shudras converted themselves to Islam because of that reason. Right now, uh, just take down some points here. Sufi is the common term given to Islamic mysticism. Sufi is the common term. Common term. So this is a supplement to whatever is there in the PPT. I will discuss the PPT. Just hold on. So Sufi is the common term given to Islamic mysticism. Islamic mysticism. So Sufis, all of you are you am I audible and visible? Clear? Am I audible and visible? If you raise your hands, okay. So it is a common term given to Islamic mysticism. Just take down some points. They accepted the prophethood of Islam. Sufis accepted the prophethood of Islam. Accepted the prophethood. So they considered um, Muhammad as a prophet. So they accepted the prophethood of Muhammad. Prophethood of Muhammad. Then the authority of the Quran. They accepted the prophethood of Muhammad, the authority of Quran's authority. Then ideas and practices of Christianity. Ideas, practices of ideas and practices of Christianity. Then Neoplatonism. Neoplatonism, Zoroastrianism, Buddhism, and Hindu Vedanta and Yoga. Hindu Vedanta and Yoga. So they believed on all these things, Sufis. So accepted prophethood of Islam, then the authority of the Quran, ideas and practices of Christianity, Neoplatonism, Zoroastrianism, Buddhism, Hindu Vedanta, and Yoga. Then, right, the next paragraph, Indian Sufis adopted, next paragraph, Indian Sufis adopted number one, concept of a relationship between God and soul, concept of a relationship between God and soul, concept of a relationship between God and soul, has one between the beloved and lover, has one between the beloved and lover. Concept of a relationship between God and soul has one between the beloved and lover. Number two, pacifism and non-violence. Pacifism and non-violence. So they believed in pacifism and non-violence. That is, among Hindu saints, you have the relationship between God and the bhakta, the devotee, the relationship between God and the devotee has between the beloved and the lover. So similarly, the Sufis also believed in that relationship between God and soul has that between beloved and lover, pacifism and non-violence, and number three, starving and torturing the body. Starving, torturing the body, like among Jains, you have starving, torturing of body by denying it food, water, sleep, meditating day and night. So the Sufis also believed in these. Okay, clear? Can I use another page? So Indian Sufis believed in all these three things: starving, torturing of the body, pacifism and non-violence, and then the relationship between God and soul has that between beloved and lover. Now, basic doctrine, basic doctrine of Sufism is Wahadat al Wujud. Basic doctrine of Sufism is Wahadatul Wahadat ul Wujud. Wujud. Use another word. You just hold on. Basic doctrine is Wahadat ul Wujud, or unity of being. You can call this as unity of being. That is, everybody is equal. In the eyes of God, everybody is equal. Unity of being. All human beings are equal. Basic doctrine, Wahdatul Wujud, or unity of being. Okay? Unity of being. Next point. In their journey to achieve union with Absolute, in their journey to achieve union with the Absolute, in their journey to achieve union with God, that is, union with the Absolute, they had to pass through, Sufis had to pass through, Sufis, so in their journey to achieve union with the Absolute, Sufis believed man had to pass through, Sufis believed man had to pass through 10 stages, had to pass through 10 stages. So, what are the 10 stages which a human being was supposed to pass through before he was able to reach union with God? Number one, take down Tauba. Tauba, that is repentance. So, if he has done any mistake, he should repent. Repentance, number one, Tauba, and see that he doesn't commit that crime again. If he has done something wrong, first of all, he should repent and not commit the same offense again or crime again. So, Tauba, repentance. Vara, Wara, abstinence. Abstinence. So he should abstain from doing certain things. Vara, abstinence. Number three, Zud, Z-U-H-D, Zud. That is piety. That is purity. Piety. Number four, Fagar. Fagar is poverty. Fagar, F-A-Q-R, or F-H-G-R, Fagar, poverty. Number five, Sabr. That is patience. Patience. Number six, Shukr. Shukr is what? Gratitude. Gratitude. Then number seven, Cough. Cough is fear. Fear of the absolute. Fear of God. That if you commit something wrong, you'll be punished. So therefore, you should have that fear. Otherwise, you will commit mistakes and you keep on repeating wrongs and crimes. So cough, fear. Then number eight, Raza. That is hope. Raza is hope. Number nine. Number nine is tawakkul. What is tawakkul? Tawakkul is contentment. So you should have contentment with whatever you're having at that point. First of all, you should have gratitude and then contentment. Contentment with whatever God has given you. And lastly, 10th, Riza. Riza is submission to the divine will. Submission to the divine will. So these are the stages through which a person should go through before he is able to realize unity with God, before he is able to realize God. Tauba, Vara, Zood, Fagr, Sabr, Shukr, Khauf, Raza, Tawakkul, Riza. Tauba is repentance. Not where is Sarah? Vara. Just hold on. This is Vara, Wara. Tauba is repentance. Repent. If you have made any mistake, you should repent. You feel sorry for that mistake. You might have harmed somebody. That person might have harmed somebody or committed a crime. So he should repent for that he has made a mistake and see that he doesn't repeat it again. Then Vara. Vara is abstinence. Abstain from doing certain things. Okay. Then Zood. Zood is piety, purity. Try to be pure in in thoughts and deeds. Your thoughts and deeds should be matching. You think something and you do something else, or you show people that you're doing something else, but you're actually, some people have, they look like a lamb, but then they are the biggest criminals. So you should be very pure. Zood, pure, piety. Himalata, Zood, that is piety, purity. Right? Okay. So basically, um, so here, this is another word for Islamic mysticism. They all lived in a hospice or a kanka. Kanka is a hospice where the teacher or the peer lived along with his students or murids, and they prayed together, ate together. The students were to serve their master, and the master will choose one of his students as his successor. That is called a wali. Wali would be the successor of the master. So he'll be having a successor. Now, so here, as you can see on your screen, saints among Muslims are called Sufis. The word Sufi is from the word Suf, I believe, meaning wool, and they believe the doctrine of Wahdatul Wujud, unity of being. That is, everybody is equal. In the eyes of God, everybody is equal. So they basically focused on union with God through love of God, prayers, fasting, rituals, etc. Then Sufis were organized into 12 silsilas or orders, though Abul Fazl gives 14, but then generally there were 12 orders or silsilas. They all lived in a kanka or a hospice, I told you. So they lived in a hospice or a kanka along with their guru. Guru was called Peer, disciple was called Murid, and then the guru will choose a successor or a wali amongst them. So here Sufi orders are divided into two categories. One is Bashara, those who followed Islamic law. That is, those who followed the Shariat. Islamic law is Shariat. So that is called Bashara. And those who did not follow Islamic law were called Beshara. Those who were not bound by Islamic law. Arti, hello. Okay, so Bashara, those who followed Shariat or Islamic law were called Bashara, and those who did not follow Islamic law were called Beshara. Of the Sufi orders, the most popular were these, Chisti and Suravardi orders. They were the two popular orders in India, Chisti and Suravardi, right? Then who are Sajada Nasheens? This was in the newspaper. I picked it up from the newspapers. They are descendants of Sufi saints who administer Sufi shrines, I believe. They are descendants of Sufi saints who look after Sufi shrines. That is called Sajada Nasheens. Now, what's a dargah? Hello, what's a masjid and a dargah? What's a masjid and a dargah? I'm sure all of you know this, but some of you might not know. So, what's a dargah? So, masjid is a mosque. What's a mosque? Parusharam Masjid is a prayer hall. Okay. It's something like a temple. Muslim temple can be called as a masjid, where they go and pray. Mosque. They're supposed to pray 5 times in a day, Muslims, and then compulsory go on a Friday for mosque, to the mosque for prayers, Jummah day, as it is called. And what's a dargah? What's a dargah? Very good, Nikhil. Dargah is a burial site of a Sufi saint. Very good. Burial. It's a tomb of a Sufi saint, not any Muslim person. This is the tomb of a Sufi saint. Tomb of a Sufi saint. Tomb of a Sufi saint is called Dargah, and um, that Sufi saint, though he has died physically, he is considered to be a living entity. He's considered to be a living entity, and his tomb is worshipped by people. But then, please understand, strict Muslims, traditional Muslims, strict Muslims don't believe in sainthood. They don't believe in the concept of a sainthood. In other words, strict Muslims or traditional Muslims don't go and pray in a dargah because they feel that you don't require a middleman or a via media between people and Allah. So if you want to pray, directly pray to God Allah, and He will give you whatever you want if you are able to win His grace. You don't need to go through a saint to approach God. So traditional Muslims don't believe in sainthood, neither do they visit a dargah. But then dargahs are visited by many other people, including many Muslims. Even Hindus and people belonging to other communities go and offer their prayers in a dargah. Like, okay, right? Yeah, probably that is the case. So here you see we have even some great saints among Hindus. For example, Sai Baba of Shirdi. So if you go to Shirdi in Maharashtra, Ahmednagar district, uh, you know, earlier there was supposed to be a Krishna mandir there. There was supposed to be a Krishna temple to be built there, but later, according to the wish of Sai Baba, he has been buried exactly at that spot where otherwise a Krishna idol would have was planned. So he's been buried there, and a statue of Sai Baba has been kept there, and he's considered to be a living entity, a living saint, because whatever rituals, pujas were performed when he was physically alive are even now performed, even though he has left the physical body. But then his body has been buried there and is considered to be a living saint. So similarly, we have so many other saints in other religions also. Dargah is a place where a Sufi saint has been buried, and he is considered to be a living entity in the sense that his power is still there, even though he has died physically. His power is still there, and if you pray to him, he is still able to fulfill your desire. If you're able to win his grace, then he'll be able to fulfill your desire through Allah. Okay, that's the belief. Okay, now uh, so here again we come back to the other part of this particular topic. Various Sufi orders which were established in India: Chistiya, Kadriya, Naqshbandi, Firdausi, Shattari, Suravardi, etc. Again, I repeat, you have a teacher who was called a peer, who had students under him. Students were called murids, and they all stayed in a hospice or a kanka. Now, among the Sufi orders in India, the most popular were the Chistis. So, what you need to know from the exam point of view is who are the important Chisti saints? Who was the founder of the Chisti Silsila or order? Who introduced that in India? And important Chisti saints. Similarly, um, you know, Sufi orders, other Sufi orders, who introduced them in India, or who was their founder, and who introduced them in India. So that's what is relevant from the exam point of view. They might ask you match the following. This Chisti saint belongs to which order? Like that, they might ask. Till now, they have not asked, but then they could ask. So founder, as you can see on your screen, Khwaja Abdul Chisti of Herat. So he was the founder of the Chisti Silsila. It was brought to India by Khwaja Muinuddin Chisti, so who settled down in Ajmer. He first came to Lahore and then settled down in Ajmer. He died in sometime in 1235 or so. And who are the important Chisti Sufi saints? They're all followers of Khwaja Muinuddin Chisti. One is, of course, Sheikh Hamiduddin Nagauri, Khwaja Qutbuddin Bakhtiar Kaki, Baba Fariduddin Ganji Shikar, or Shakar, that is Ganji Shakar, Nizamuddin Aulia, Nasruddin Chirag Delhi, the lamp of Delhi, as he was called, Nasruddin. Then Syed Muhammad Gyesudaras of Gulbarga. So you remember when Muhammad bin Tughlaq shifted the capital from Delhi to Devagiri. Devagiri was renamed Daulatabad. Many architects, engineers, the rich and the elite sections of the society of Delhi, the city of Delhi, and also many Sufi saints came to South India in this transfer of capital from Delhi to Devagiri. And among the Sufi saints who came from Delhi to South India was this man called Syed Muhammad Gesudaras. He makes Gulbarga his capital, headquarters. He made Gulbarga in Karnataka his headquarters. He never went back to Delhi. Even though Muhammad bin Tughlaq reshifted the capital back to Delhi, he never went back and he stayed in South India and he made Gulbarga his headquarters. He has been buried there. He died at Gulbarga and he has been buried there. So these are the important Sufi saints of the Chishti order. Sheikh Hamiduddin Nagauri, then Khwaja Qutbuddin Bakhtiar Kaki, in whose memory Qutbuddin Aibak, in whose honor Qutbuddin Aibak began the construction of the Qutub Minar, which was completed by Iltutmish. So Qutub Minar was built in honor of Khwaja Qutbuddin Bakhtiar Kaki. Then Baba Farid or Ganji Shakar. Let me make that correction, please. It is Ganji Shakar. Not Shikar, Ganji Shakar. Ganji Shakar. Or also called Baba Farid. So he had his Kankad in Punjab at a place called Ajodan. He's the first great Punjabi poet of Sufism. First great Punjabi poet of Sufism. Then Nizamuddin Aulia, who saw the rule of 7 Delhi Sultans, Nizamuddin Aulia, his dargah was built by Muhammad bin Tughlaq. So he's called Mehbubi Ilahi, right? Nizamuddin Aulia. And Nizamuddin Aulia is also called Siddh or Perfect. It was called Siddh or Perfect because he performed yoga. So he was perfect at performing yoga. Many of the tough yogasanas were performed by Nizamuddin Aulia. So therefore he was called Siddh or Perfect. Then Nasruddin Chiragi, Delhi or the lamp of Delhi. Then Syed Muhammad Gyesudaras, who settled down at Gulbarga, is called Banda Nawaz, right? So Chistis made themselves popular through musical recitation or sama, musical gatherings. So like bhajan, they also sat together and prayed together, sang songs, did music, and many of the other orders, they criticized the Chistis because they said this is un-Islamic. There's no music in Islam. But Chistis said that it is very much there in the Shariat. So, and then they were the most popular because, as I told you earlier, they followed many of the Hindu practices in the initial stages of their existence in India, the Chisti saints. They followed many Hindu practices, including Tashita, that is shaving the head, wearing earlobes, performing yoga, and also they lived on begging. So they lived on begging like mendicants, begging Hindu mendicants. So that also made them very, very popular. The Chistis. Then Suravardi Silsila, Sheikh Shihabuddin Suravardi was their founder. Sheikh Bahauddin Zakaria organized it. Main center was Multan. And the saints of this silsila, they held big jagirs and they had close contact with the state. So Suravardis believed that it is not wrong to possess wealth. Wealth by itself is not wrong. Like the Chistis felt having wealth is wrong. But then Suravardis did not feel that way because they felt that this is a source of energy, a source of power, because with wealth you can help a lot of people. So they considered as wealth to be used to help the poor. So if you have money with you, you can help the poor. If you don't have money, how can you help the poor? And many of them held important positions in the government, particularly in the religious department, ecclesiastical department. So in the government, they held important positions in the religious department or ecclesiastical department. The Suravardi Sufi saints. And the main center was Multan, which is now in Pakistan. Then Firdausi Silsila, founder was Sheikh Badruddin of Samarkand, first established it in Delhi. moved to Bihar. Then Sheikh Shamsuddin Yahya Munair, the most distinguished saint of this order, Firdausi Silsila. So know the founder and important saints of that order. That's what is important. Then Shattari Silsila, Shah Abdul Shattari in India. He was the one who introduced that in India. Sheikh Muhammad Gaut of Gwalior was one of the important Shattari saints. And Tansen, Akbar's legendary musician in Akbar's court, Tansen was a follower of the Shattari Silsila. Spread mainly in Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, etc. Then Qadri Silsila, Sheikh Shah Niyamatullah Qadri. He was the first notable saint of this order in India, Shah Niyamatullah Qadri. And Dara Shikoh, the son of Shah Jahan, the eldest son of Shah Jahan, was a follower of the Qadri Silsila. So such things please, like Tansen was a follower of the Shattari Silsila. Then Dara Shikoh of the Qadri Silsila. Right? Then Naqshbandi Silsila, Khwaja Baqi Billah. During Akbar's reign, this Silsila became popular, Naqshbandi Silsila. Right? So this is about the Sufi movement. What are the achievements of Sufi and Bhakti saints? So they were able to they contribute towards tolerance among these two religions. Both the Bhakti and the Sufi saints. So Bhaktism reformed Hinduism, Sufism liberalized Islam. They both put brakes on orthodoxy, encouraged social reform measures. Interreligious fraternity was created. That is, brotherhood among Muslims and Hindus was created. You see, when the Turks came, they engaged in large-scale destruction of Hindu and Jain temples. They hurt the religious sentiments of the Hindus when they converted temples into mosques, and they looted and plundered them. So, because of the type of life the Sufi saints lived, slowly a certain amount of tolerance, acceptance came about in the Indian society as regards the Muslims. And the Sufi saints contributed to a large extent towards that brotherhood between Hindus and Muslims. And it also led to development of regional languages. Many of the Bhakti saints used regional languages like Marathi, Hindi, Awadhiya dialect of Hindi, Telugu, Tamil, Bengali, Oriya, etc. So they use local languages to propagate their teachings. So that also led to the development of regional languages. And of course, cultural synthesis took place under Akbar when a national government came into existence. Where all the sections of the society live together as one under Akbar. So national government came into existence under Akbar. So these are the achievements of Bhakti and Sufi movements. Are you there with me? Clear, all of you? So Bhakti movement had covered about 15 days back. Then Sufi movements have covered today. Clear? Hello? Can you raise your hands? So what is important in the Sufi chapter is, remember the important Sufi orders. Sufi orders, founder of the Sufi order, and important saints. Important saints. Important saints pertaining to that order. So this is important. This is what you need to remember. Can I move on? Are you there with me? So here UPSC asked a question in 2014. Sufis and medieval mystic saints failed to modify either the religious ideas and practices or the outward structure of Hindu-Muslim societies to any appreciable extent. Comment. Sufis and medieval mystic saints failed to modify either the religious ideas and practices or the outward structure of Hindu-Muslim societies to any appreciable extent. Comment. So 2014 question, 200 words, 10 marks. So you see, we have discussed last class about the corruptions which existed in our society and religion from ancient times. Corruptions in our society like child marriage, discouragement to widow remarriage, sati, dowry, untouchability, right? So women been denied education, property rights, and so on and so forth. Similarly, in religion, we have a number of corruptions, like, for example, domination of the priestly classes of the Brahmins, rituals, sacrifices. The religion had become costly, complicated. the Janayu ceremony or the Upanayana ceremony, which was reserved only for the upper three Varnas. Shudras and women were denied the Upanayana ceremony, and therefore they were also denied the right to perform sacrifices. They could not also hold property for that reason. Early marriages took place. The age of marriage was reduced by the Brahmins, to 8. So all those things were sort of corruptions, including idolatry, idol worship, superstitious beliefs and practices. So all these were existing in our society from ancient times. Now, though these Bhakti saints and Sufi saints criticized all these corruptions, they were not able to weed them out. They were not able to remove them. No, and ultimately, we have seen that. I've told you last class that only during the British period in the 19th century we have social religious reform movements, Brahma Samaj, Arya Samaj, Ramakrishna Mission, Swami Vivekananda, and reform movements in the Parsi religion, in the Islam religion, apart from Hindu religion, where to a large extent society became much more broader, tolerant. All these corruptions to a large extent was reduced, also because of the efforts of the British government, which passed legislations, laws like banning sati, encouraging widow remarriage, banning human sacrifice, discouraging dowry, and so on and so forth. Now, what is the reason they're asking that though these Sufis and medieval mystic saints, why did they fail to modify religious ideas and practices or the structure of Hindu-Muslim societies? First of all, one is, they were nomadic in nature. Most of these saints were nomadic in nature, going from one place to another place. So, as a result, because of their being nomadic in nature, they were not staying in one place. So their ideas or whatever they criticized was lost. Their impact was lost because they were basically nomadic in nature. They did not establish a lasting institution, uh, a regular lasting institution. Okay. Number three is, of course, since um, so one is, of course, they were nomadic in nature. Then they did not establish a regular lasting institutions where you have the students continuing the tradition of the Bhakti saints or the Sufi saints. So lasting institution was not established. And the third is, of course, um, mm, the Sufi saints and the Bhakti saints condemned many of the practices. They condemned many of the corruptions in our society and religion, but they did not give an alternative. When they condemned sati or dowry or child marriage or other corruptions in our society and religion, they did not provide an alternative. They only condemned and left it. Did not provide an alternative. Right? They should have provided an alternative. And lastly, um, since most of these saints, both Bhakti saints and Sufi saints, they belong to the lower orders. They belong to the lower castes. So since they belong to the lower caste, whatever they condemned was not taken seriously by the upper caste. They could not bring about changes in the society and religion because they themselves were belonging to the lower caste. So their criticism or their message could not bring about changes in the religion and society because religion and society were dominated by the upper caste. People belong to the upper sections of the society, upper religious religions. So because of these reasons, they could not bring about any changes in our society and religion. Do you understand? This is the gist of the topic. No, no, nothing like that. This is nothing like Hindu misdeeds, or Muslim misdeeds. It is a general criticism, right? General survey of the question. No, no, no. The Nikhil, the thing is, see the strict Muslims. I told you did not follow uh, the Sufis as such. In fact, they never visited dargahs or followed the Sufis. Sufis, they try to establish a society where there is a lot of tolerance. And, as I told you, it is another name for Islamic mysticism. Bhakti saints among Muslims are called Sufis. So they were, for them, everybody was equal. Unlike Unlike you have the rigid Muslims, like for example, during the time of Akbar, you have Badauni, who was a very influential minister under Akbar, and he criticized many of the practices of Akbar. He felt that this is against Islam. When Akbar banned jizya, when he banned pilgrim tax, when he banned forcible conversions to Islam, etc., these were severely criticized by Badauni because he felt it is un-Islamic. Here, the Sufi saints believed in a tolerant society, and they did not strictly follow many of the tenets of the Shariat. Though they believed in the Shariat, but then they also were saying that everybody is equal in the eyes of God. Unlike a fanatic Muslim who will say that Islam is the, like Aurangzeb was a fanatic Muslim, he said Islam is the most superior religion. No, and all other religions come under Islam. So they did not say that, the Sufis. They believed in a very tolerant and a equal society. Okay, right. So this is the gist of this particular question, whatever I've given you. So model answers will be shared with you in some time. By today evening or tomorrow, you should get all the model answers. Whatever answer questions UPSC has asked till from 2013, I've given you model answers. You could get some ideas from those model answers, and you will have definitely your own ideas. You can add those ideas to them, and you can probably make a better answer than that. But it is just for your information that I've given you model answers, and I've not stuck to the word limit. I've not stuck to the word limit. Maybe in the lunch break, and I can request the concerned people to share the model answers. In fact, I'd ask them to put it here in the PPTs. But since it is not part of, I have not made PPTs for that. It's only in the Word file. He's not been able to put it. Otherwise, you would have put it. Okay. So this is about this topic, Sufism. So let us come to. I'll go on to dance. Just hold on. I had given a particular sequence. I wanted to follow a particular sequence. Just hold on. Oh my God, he's forgotten to put the dance topic. Just give me a some time. Just hold on. Okay. Uh, so let us talk about painting then. Let's talk about painting. Hello, all of you. Are you there with me? Hello, hello, hello. Ah, Sabir, you're not put Indian dance? नो नो बट डांस मैंने कल भी मेल किया था ना, कल भी मैसेज किया था। नहीं, डांस ही नहीं है ना इसमें। आफ्टर म्यूजिक एंड में है। नहीं बाबा, यू आर नॉट पुट डांस। म्यूजिक के बाद डांस ही नहीं है। म्यूजिक एंड में है, डांस नहीं है। एक मिनट, बकतो बकतो एक मिनट। पेंटिंग के बाद है क्या? एक मिनट एक मिनट। साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी है। हाँ नहीं है। इंडियन डांस या। हाँ। हेलो, are you there with me, all of you? Can you please raise your hands? Am I audible and visible? I will deal with dance later. We will do painting now. Indian painting. Okay. Are you clear about the Sufi movement? Any doubts regarding Sufi movement? Okay. Now let us talk about dance. This is the most important topic of the day, actually. This requires some explanation. Otherwise, rest of the topics are factual in nature. But then, anyway, we will discuss everything in detail. But just hold on. Now, look here. Painting. Let's come to painting. Indian painting. Let me give you an overview of Indian painting. Then we'll discuss the PPTs. Indian painting. Indian painting. So this is an overview of Indian painting, another important topic in your art and culture section. So here, India has a rich tradition of painting from ancient times. So we start our survey of painting from the prehistoric paintings. So first of all, we start with what is known as prehistoric paintings. What is prehistoric paintings? Early man used to stay inside caves. Early man used to stay inside caves, and on the walls of some of these caves, we have beautiful paintings. What was painted? Basically, he painted the flora and the fauna, the plants and animals which he saw in the nature around him. Then community life is shown. Community life like dancing, women cooking food, or collecting mushroom and other things around the settlement where they were living. Women giving birth to a baby. Sometimes human and female genitalia is shown. That is private part of a human being, both male and female. That is shown in the form of paintings. A woman giving birth to a baby. So such things are shown. Sometimes sex scenes are shown, and sometimes animals are so shown chasing men. So this is called prehistoric art, and we have such caves in various parts of the country. Mostly, such cave paintings are found in Madhya Pradesh, the region of Chhattisgarh. Some of them are also found in Allahabad, in UP, Bihar. Then Yesutu Guha in Kerala. Some caves in Tamil Nadu. Uh, so these are all the. This is called prehistoric paintings. So prehistoric paintings. So we start our survey with prehistoric painting. Okay, prehistoric painting. This is number one. Number two is we have the Indus civilization, Indus paintings. Indus painting. Generally, Indus painting is found on pots, and on terracotta, that is terracotta ware or pots, and also sometimes on the toys of children, again made of terracotta. So terracotta is what made of clay and baked in the kiln or fired in the kiln. And then Harappans used to make pots like that, wheel turned pottery we have discussed. So they used to make pottery on the wheel, then they used to fire it in the kiln or bake it in the kiln, and then they used to give it a red color paint. So once the pot became dry, once the red color paint became dry, they used to make designs in black. So the background is red, whereas the design on the red background is in black. So we have some examples of Indus paintings. They might have been painted on the walls of their houses, on the floor of their house, or on the walls of their houses, but they have not remained. They have not survived. So Indus paintings. Then suddenly we jump to Gupta period paintings. Gupta period paintings, right? It's because in between the Indus painting and Gupta period, we don't have any examples of paintings. So suddenly we come to Gupta period. And in the Gupta period, we have paintings seen in three places. We have paintings in Ajanta, in Bagh, in Madhya Pradesh, and Sittanavasal. Sittanavasal, Sittanavasal in the Pudukkottai district of Tamil Nadu. So Ajanta, as you all know, is in Maharashtra. Then Bagh is in Madhya Pradesh, and Sittanavasal is in Tamil Nadu. Now, we have to specifically study about Ajanta. Ajanta, there are 29 caves here. Some books say 30 caves. So there are 29 caves or 30 caves. Some books say 30 caves at Ajanta. Out of these 29 or 30 caves, four are chaityas. Four are chaityas, so 4 to 5 are chaityas. And the rest, 25 or 26 are viharas. So on the walls of some of these caves, on the walls and ceilings of some of these caves, we find beautiful paintings. As you all know, Ajanta is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. So apart from, so we'll also be discussing about what is called mural. What is a mural? What is a fresco? So what's a mural? What's a fresco, etc. We'll be discussing that. So here Ajanta paintings, we will discuss thoroughly about Ajanta paintings. Then Bagh in Madhya Pradesh and Sittanavasal in Tamil Nadu. Okay, I'm only giving an overview of Indian painting. So this is an important topic, Indian painting. Once you understand the overview, the rest becomes very, very easy to relate and understand because it's basically factual in nature. And don't get lost in the maze of information. I have given you all the information in my PPTs from various sources I've collected and given it. But then once you understand the broad picture, it will be easy for you to relate to the topic. So that is the reason why I give you overviews. So prehistoric painting, Indus painting, Gupta period painting seen at three places: Ajanta, Bagh, Sittanavasa. Then we come to, of course, Ellora. So Sittanavasal and then Ellora. Okay, Ellora. Then we come to pre-medieval. Pre-medieval paintings. Pre-medieval India. Pre-medieval paintings. So what we notice in pre-medieval India is transition from wall paintings to miniature paintings. Ellora is in Maharashtra. Yes, yes. Hemlata, Ellora is in Maharashtra, obviously. Okay, transition from wall to miniature painting. So you need to understand what is miniature painting. Okay, so what is miniature painting? We'll be discussing that. So here, basically, all these are examples of miniature painting. That is, the Pala period painting, Pala paintings. There are examples of miniature paintings. Then Rajput paintings. Rajput paintings divided into Rajasthani and Pahari. Pahadi or Pahari. So this is another example of miniature painting. Mughal period painting. Mughal paintings are examples of miniature. Then Ragamala paintings. So what is Ragamala painting? Company painting. All these are examples of miniature paintings. Okay. So transition from wall to miniature paintings in pre-medieval times. So what are the three reasons as to why paintings transitioned from wall paintings to miniature paintings? We will discuss that. Then we come to medieval period. Pre-medieval, then medieval. Medieval India. Medieval India. So in medieval period, we have three themes on which paintings were done. Understand this? Three themes on which paintings were done. What are the three themes? These three themes are Naika Bheda. Naika Bheda. Number two, Baramasa. Baramasa. And number three, Ragamala. These are the three themes on which paintings were done. Naika Bheda, Baramasa, Ragamala. So what is this? I'll explain that later. Okay. Then we come to, so we have, during medieval period, we have Pala paintings, Pala painting, then Jain miniature paintings, Jain miniature painting, also called Apabhramsha. Apabhramsha. Apabhramsha painting. Jain miniature painting, also called Apabhramsha. Hello, are you there with me, all of you? Can you raise your hands? Okay. Just know the gist of this topic? Then thank you. Okay. So Pala painting, Jain miniature painting, also called Apabhramsha. Then we come to, so here, what are the various areas where medieval paintings are seen? So I'll use another page here. I'll use another page. So we have Rajasthani paintings. So Rajasthani Rajput paintings divided into Rajasthani. So what are the various places where we find Rajasthani paintings? Basically, it is found in the royal courts of Rajasthan, in the various kingdoms of Rajasthan, where you have royal courts, like for example, Mewar, then Kishangarh, Jodhpur, Bikaner, Bundi, Marwar, Kota, Kachwaha, Alwar, etc. These are the important Rajasthani kingdoms. And then what is Pahadi? In the hilly areas, in the lower Himalayan hills, we have a number of small Rajput kingdoms. So kingdoms ruled by Rajput kings. So they were all small kingdoms. And the paintings which arose in these hilly areas of the lower Himalayas are known as Pahadi paintings. So Pahari paintings. So these are two examples of Rajput paintings. Rajasthani painting, Pahadi painting. So Pahadi paintings are found in Basoli, Guler, Kangra, Garhwal, right? So this is Rajput paintings. Then of course we come to Central India painting. So these are all examples of medieval paintings. These are the areas where we find medieval paintings. Central India. So what are the paintings in Central India? we find paintings in Bundelkhand, that is Bundeli painting. Bundeli, then Malwa in Madhya Pradesh, and Gwalior, again in Madhya Pradesh. These are the three areas where we find Central India paintings. Then we come to South India. South India paintings. South India paintings. Pallava. Many of the temples of the Pallavas are paintings. So Pallava period paintings, Chola period paintings, seen in temples like Rajarajeshwara temple at Tanjore, or the uh, Gangaikonda Choleshwara temple. So Chola period paintings, then Vijayanagar period paintings, Vijayanagara, and Kerala paintings. These are South Indian paintings. Then we come to Deccan paintings. Deccan paintings seen in Bijapur, Golconda, Ahmednagar, like that. Bijapur, Ahmednagar, Golconda. So these are Deccan paintings. Okay. Then we come to Mughal paintings. Mughal paintings from Babur to Aurangzeb. Development of Mughal paintings from Babur to Aurangzeb. And the peak of Mughal painting is under Jahangir. The peak of Mughal painting was under Jahangir, the son of Akbar, Salim, who becomes Jahangir. So we talk about um, you know what are the important developments under painting during the time of Babur. Babur was very busy fighting wars, as you know, but in his autobiography he makes a mention of some painters like Bizard, etc. Shah Muzaffar, Bizard, like that. Then Humayun. So what are the developments under Humayun? Humayun, you all know, was thrown out of India. He was defeated by Sher Shah, and he was in exile in Persia or Iran. When he was in Iran, he met two painters, Khwaja Abdul Samad and Mir Said Ali Tabrizi. Khwaja Abdul Samad and Mir Said Ali Tabrizi. So he met these two painters, and these painters, he was very impressed by their painting. So he invited them to India. He said once he reconquered the Mughal Empire, these two painters came and joined his court and he made them the chief painters. And after that, a number of students of these two painters began to come to India. But Humayun was succeeded by Akbar. He lived, once he reconquered Delhi, re-established the Mughal Empire. Humayun did not live for a long time. And then Humayun was succeeded by Akbar. So, real development of Mughal painting is seen under Akbar. So, we'll discuss important painters under Akbar. What are the important techniques which were introduced in painting? Then Jahangir, important developments in the field of painting under Jahangir. Important painters patronized by him. Then Shah Jahan, what happened to painting during his period? Important painters under Shah Jahan. And Aurangzeb. Aurangzeb, as you know, he was not interested in painting. So he dismissed most of the painters. Almost all the painters were dismissed. So many of these painters who were trained in the Mughal school of painting either went to Rajasthan or they went to the Pahadi areas, influencing the local schools there. Mughal painters were trained in the Mughal school of painting. So when they lost their jobs, they went in search of employment, either to various Rajput kingdoms, influencing the local paintings of that area, or many of these painters went to the Pahadi areas, hilly areas, influencing the paintings of those hill areas. Right. So Mughal school of painting. Are you there with me, all of you? Then, so here we have this. So I'm giving you a gist of this topic called painting. uh, Prehistoric, Indus, Gupta period, mainly Ajanta, then pre-medieval, where we have transitioned from wall to miniature, then medieval India paintings under three themes, Nayaka Beda, Baramasa, Ragamala, then then Rajput paintings seen in Rajasthani and Pahari schools, in Central India, South India, Deccan, Mughal. Then open another page. Parashuram, I'm coming to that. Just hold on. Central India painting. Okay, so here Central India painting. Um, so then we come to colonial period paintings. Colonial period. Parashuram, you're asking me Central India architecture. I've already explained to you Nagara style, Nagara paintings, Nagara architecture seen in Orissa, Madhya Pradesh, and Gujarat, Rajasthan, the Ocean group of temples. So Nagara temples, standard features of a Nagara temple. Then we have sub schools of Nagara architecture in Orissa, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, Rajasthan. That would be your Central India architecture. Yeah, I would explain that. So just refer to your PPTs of architecture, you'll get that. Important sub schools of Nagara in Central India. Hmm? So colonial period paintings, you see, we have British style, then court style, British style, court style. Now, what is this British style? So here we see three phases under British style. We'll talk about it. Initial paintings under the British were of India. They were done to attract visitors to India, so that British and other Europeans start visiting India. So the landscapes of India, the beautiful sceneries of India were painted. The second phase is something else. That is, you have full size portraits of kings painted. Full size, for example, the Nawab of Arcot, the Nawab of Arcot's painting, full size king size painting of the Nawab of Arcot. The pomp and splendor, the richness of the Indian kings were painted. And the third phase is where the British began to paint war scenes, where they defeated many Indian rulers. Many Indian rulers were defeated and their kingdoms were conquered by the British. So the victories of the British were highlighted. So we will talk about those things, British style. Court style seen in Tanjavur and Mysore. Tanjore's painting, Mysore School of Painting. So these are the two royal courts. Um, you know, uh, Shivaji, the Chhatrapati Shivaji conquered a few parts of Tamil Nadu before he died. I have done medieval India, if you remember. Before he died, he entered into a treaty with the Golconda Sultan, the Qutub Shah ruler of Golconda, and then, as part of the treaty, he conquered a few parts of present-day Tamil Nadu, like Jinji, Vellore, Tanjavur, Madurai, etc. So there was a Maratha rules established there under Sarboji II, Shivaji II. So you have a family of Shivaji who were ruling that part of Tamil Nadu. So the painting which developed at Tanjavur in the royal court of Tanjavur under the Maratha kings is called the Tanjore School of Painting. The unique aspect of this painting is it was done on wood, jackwood, a type of wood available in that area called Palgai Padam, jackwood. And then they used gold, precious stones were used in painting. So that is unique to the Tanjore School of Painting. Mysore School of Painting, we'll talk about it. Tipu Sultan was killed in 1799 in the Battle of Turkanahalli. In 1799, he was killed. So we have the Wadayar rule, which was resurrected. Wadayars were brought back by the British, and they began to rule Mysore. And the type of painting, the school of painting, which developed in the royal court of Mysore, came to be called the Mysore School of Painting, particularly under uh, Krishnaraja Wadayar III, King Krishnaraja Wadayar III of Mysore. So British style, court style, and then of course modern national art style. Modern national modern national art style. Modern national art style. So here, what is this modern national art style? Are you able to catch me here, all of you? Whatever I'm telling you, are you able to grasp it? It's a lot. It's a big topic. Okay, a lot of information is there, but then everything is not important. We just have to focus on some areas. I'll tell you what areas to focus on in this painting topic. You just focus on those areas. Okay, read the entire PPT of mine, and then of course go through Nitin Singhania's book. That is the Bible for Art and Culture. and then we'll focus on certain areas. You can expect questions from those areas. So modern national art style. So what is this modern national art style? There was one British officer. Okay, his name was E.B. Havel. E.B. Havel. His name was E.B. Havel. So he was a painter himself. This E.B. Havel, and E.B. Havel felt that India has a rich tradition of painting. What happened was what E.B. Havel noticed was Indian painters were painting Western themes, British themes, Western European themes. So he did not like it. So E.B. Havel told the Indian painters, "Why are you adopting Western themes or European themes of painting? India has a rich tradition of painting. I have no problem if you adopt European techniques of painting, but make the theme Indian, paint Indian themes." So that's what he told some of the painters, and he inspired these painters to paint Indian themes. They might adopt modern techniques of painting, European techniques of painting, but they should stick to Indian themes. So E.B. Havel inspired a group of painters under Abanindranath Tagore. So painters like Abanindranath Tagore. So he was a relative of Rabindranath Tagore, Abanindranath Tagore. So inspired painters like Abanindranath Tagore, who began to paint Indian themes. Um, so they might have adopted Western techniques, but they began to use Indian themes in their paintings. Abanindranath Tagore, Sharda Ukil, Jaimini Roy, Amrita Shergill. These were some of the painters who began to paint Indian themes, and that led to the development of what is called the Bengal School of Painting. Bengal School of Painting, which was later recognized as the National Indian Art Style. The National Indian Art Style in the various art galleries of the world, it came to be recognized nationally as National Indian Art Style. And at the same time, we'll be talking about this great painter from Travancore, that is Raja Ravi Verma. So Raja Ravi Verma. So he was from the royal family of Trivandrum or Thiruvananthapuram. Thiruvananthapuram, as it is called now, those days called Travancore. The British had called it as Travancore. So he was from the royal family of Travancore, and he was a gifted painter. He was a born painter. This Raja Ravi Verma, and Raja Ravi Verma began to paint from a young age in his palace, and he made as I told you, he was a gifted painter. So he made beautiful paintings. Later, he was trained by European painter. One painter came to his court. His name was Theodor Jensen. So Theodor Jensen um, taught him Western techniques of painting. So Raja Ravi Verma began to adopt Western techniques, but used Indian themes. For example, the 9 yard sari. The Maharashtrian women wear 9 yard saris on important ceremonial occasions like marriage or festivals, etc. So that was made world famous by Raja Ravi Verma. Similarly, he was the first Indian painter to paint women naked. So you might wonder, how did he find such women to pose for him? So I believe Raja Ravi Verma, he was a pure artist. So here he supposed to have hired prostitutes. He hired prostitutes, and he gave them money and asked them to pose naked. So he was the first Indian painter to paint Indian women naked. Very interesting this is. Then he was also the person, Raja Ravi Verma, who began to paint Indian gods. For example, in the houses of Hindus, nowadays you have so many photos. Hindus have photos in their houses. For example, Mahalakshmi, the goddess Mahalakshmi, is shown sitting on a lotus flower or standing on a lotus flower with two elephants sprinkling flowers on her, right? Or you have Hanuman, Hanuman who has thrown open his breast. He has torn open his breast, and you see the images of Ram and Lakshman inside his chest. Or the family photo of Shiva, where Shiva is sitting with the Kailash mountain in the background, Shiva is sitting with his wife Parvati, and you have a full family photo of you know Lord Ganesh, and then Kartike or Muruga with their mounts, the full family photo with their vehicles or mounts. So that is shown. Or you have Narasimha, Vishnu has Lord Narasimha who has killed Hiranyakashipa. Okay, he has made him. He has, Hiranyakashipa is unconscious. He is lying on Vishnu's Varaha avatar Narasimha's lap, and Narasimha is tearing open his tummy, his stomach. All this is the imagination of Raja Ravi Varma. Uh, all this is the imagination of Raja Ravi Varma. So he depicted Hindu gods in various settings, and those were made into photos or photo frames later and worshipped by the masses of India. So that's why Raja Ravi Varma is very, very famous. And because of that reason, please understand, since his paintings were in huge demand throughout the world, particularly in the art galleries. So what Raja Ravi Varma did is he opened one publishing, he opened one publication, where his paintings came to be published in Bombay. So he opened a printing press rather. He opened a printing press where his paintings came to be printed and mass produced, and they began to be sold throughout the world. So we talk about Raja Ravi Varma also. This is your survey of Indian painting. And then apart from these segments, will be done. This you also have to study about folk paintings. You also have to study about folk paintings. That is unique to various parts of India. Unique to various parts of India. For example, Warli painting. Warli painting done by the Warli tribes of Maharashtra. Warli paintings, or for that matter, the Madhubani painting. Madhubani painting, unique to the district of Madhubani in Bihar. So, what is this Madhubani painting, Warli painting? Then Tanta painting from Manipur, which is from where we see in the Tibetan monasteries, beautiful paintings done. Or Rangoli in different parts of India. We have Rangoli is called by different names. In North India, generally, it is Rangoli is mixed with water, and then it is made on the threshold of the house, at the entrance of the house. Whereas in South India, the dry powder of Rangoli is used to make decorations. But it's still now used in traditional families. Early morning, the women get up, take a bath, and then they make some rangoli at the entrance of their house, and they could also light a lamp. So these are all examples of folk paintings, different parts, or for that matter, the Kalamkari painting from Andhra Pradesh, etc., etc. So we have so many examples of folk paintings, and at the end, I have given you a short note on important painters of India, including M.F. Hussain, Sharda Ukil, Jaimini Roy, Amrita Shergill, etc. So this is your survey of Indian painting. Kennedy, I'm sorry for that. Kalyani, what's pathetic, Kalyani? Kennedy has a power problem, in Manipur of the power outage, so he has missed quite a lot of the class. But then, Kennedy, you can listen to the recorded section, recorded video. Kalyani, can you repeat what's your query, Kalyani? Any? Hello? Are you clear about this? Are you clear? This is the gist of this topic called um, Indian painting. The gist of the topic. Can you raise your hands? Did you understand this bird's eye view of Indian painting? Then we'll discuss it in a detailed manner. Okay, right. And then here and there, I'll give you some supplementary points. I'll make you write because I could not put everything in the PPTs. So we'll just take a small break, 5 minutes break, and come back. Just take a 5 minutes break and come back. Then we'll continue. Just a 5 minutes break. I don't know whether I can share my mobile number directly, Kennedy. I'll ask the management whether I can do. At the end of the session, definitely, if it's possible, I'll definitely share my mobile number. I don't know whether we are allowed to do that, but email, definitely I can share, Kennedy. Okay, we'll just go for a 5 minutes break and come back. Okay. Good morning once again. Can we continue? Okay. Let me check up, Kennedy. Don't worry. We have the whole day to go. So let me check up in the lunchtime and I'll get back to you, Kennedy. Right? So we'll come back here. So did you understand the gist of this topic? This is Indian painting for you. Big topic, but a very interesting topic. So what are the areas you should focus on? Understand this, please. What are the areas you should focus on? One is, of course, Ajanta. So Gupta period paintings. In Gupta period paintings, the most important is Ajanta. So remember Ajanta for you. Ajanta is very important. What are the techniques in used in Ajanta? Various themes of painting, important paintings at Ajanta. Okay, everything about Ajanta. Then Mughal period paintings. Mughal period paintings is important. Then of course Rajput paintings, which are divided into Rajasthani and Pahadi. Basically Pahadi paintings. So Pahadi paintings is important. Then miniature paintings. These four areas you remember. Gupta period paintings, particularly Ajanta, then Mughal paintings, then Pahadi paintings and miniature paintings, right? So that is important. So we'll come back here. So what are the features of Indian painting? So let me quickly go through the PPTs, survey of the paintings. So features of Indian painting, basically Indian painting is based on religion, philosophy, faith. So that's the main theme. It's more imaginary and lack the elements of realism. It's not realistic, mostly it is imaginary. Themes are religion, philosophy, faith. Then folklores are also painted. Then you have symbols. Paintings is done through symbols, expression of faith and religion through symbols. It's elements of joy, inspiration, happiness are seen in Indian paintings. Then the importance is given to morality and integrity. And then we have also drawing of outlines. So these are the important features of Indian painting. So Vatsyayana in his Kama Sutra. So Kama Sutra, earliest textbook on Indian sexuology. So Vatsyayana is the author of Kama Sutra. In his book called Kama Sutra, Vatsyayana gives 6 canons of painting, 6 rules of painting, like Rupa Bheda, Pramanam. Rupa Bheda is knowledge, appearance, how the painting appears. Then Pramanam, right perception, measure and structure. Bhava, Lavanya Yoganam, Sadrishyam, like that. You don't need to know each of these details. Just know that 6 rules of painting or canons of painting are given by Kama Sutra, by Vatsyayana in his book Kama Sutra. Then Abhinandanatha Tagore, the relative of Rabindranath Tagore, also has classified Indian paintings under these components. Knowledge of appearance, how the painting appears, correct perception, measure, structure of form, etc. So on various basis, he has divided the Indian paintings. So types of paintings, we have wall paintings called Bitta Chitra. Understand this? Bitta Chitra, wall paintings. So what are wall paintings? Basically, what are murals? Murals are wall paintings. Understand this? What are murals? Mural painting is nothing but painting done on static surfaces. Painting done on static surfaces. You cannot move that surface. So painting done on static surfaces like a wall or a rock boulder is called mural. So painting done on a static surface is called mural. So that is another word for mural is Bitta Chitra, wall paintings, Bitta Chitra. For example, wall paintings at Ajanta, Ellora, Lepakshi, etc. Chitrapat, that is paintings on cloths or canvas, paintings made on cloth or canvas. Chitrapat, Chitrafalak, done on stone, wood, etc. Lagu Chitra, miniature paintings. So remember these terminologies. Lekya Chitra, sketches. So these are the various words for these paintings, different types of paintings, wall paintings, miniature paintings, paintings on cloth, canvas, etc. Then we have prehistoric paintings. Early man used to stay inside caves, and on the walls of some of these caves, he has done paintings. That's called prehistoric paintings or prehistoric art. Then we come to historic period paintings. So when man began to write, man had the knowledge of writing. So paintings done in the historic period is that. So we'll talk about it. Prehistoric paintings. So they are in the form of murals. So what are murals? Murals are paintings done on static surfaces like walls. So we have people like Archibald Carlyle, John Cockburn. They were the first to highlight the importance of Indian mural paintings. And these paintings are found in various parts of India, particularly Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh area, in Chhattisgarh, then Sarguja, Chhattisgarh, or Kaimur Hills, then Nawada in Bihar, Chitroha, Amaroha, they are all in Allahabad. So these are some of the, then of course Yazutugua in Kerala. These are some of the places where we find prehistoric paintings. So Kaimur Hill in Madhya Pradesh, then Panchamari in Madhya Pradesh, Bimbetka in Madhya Pradesh, Chitroha in Allahabad, Nawada in Bihar. These are some of the important places where we find prehistoric paintings. So what I've done is I made a chart. On your screen, you can see a chart. Which one, Kennedy? Last one, repeat. After Pahari. After Pahari, just hold on. Basoli, Central India paintings. After Pahari, it's Basoli, Guler, Kangra, Garhwal. That is part of Pahari paintings. Then Central India paintings. Bundeli, Malwa, Gwalior. Kennedy, got it? Saying four. Okay, okay, fine. I said Rajput painting. That is, you have important paintings. You'd remember, of course, Gupta period paintings, Mughal paintings, Pahadi paintings, and miniature paintings. Miniature paintings. Miniature paintings. Okay. So you can see on your screen, I have made a chart for our convenience. Basically, what was painted. So these are the important centers, a region where such paintings are found. For example, Mirzapur, UP. What are the important centers, and what are the important paintings, famous paintings? Basically, you see flora and fauna. What was painted? Plants, animals, plants, animals. Okay, plants, animals, including and of course then social life or community life, social life or community life was painted. Community life, then hunting scenes, battle scenes, no, war scenes, battle scenes. These were painted, right? Yeah, Ajanta, Mughal, Pahadi, miniature paintings. Kennedy, miniature, small paintings, miniature paintings. Okay. So just hold on. So these are the various themes on which paintings are found. For example, Mirzapur in Uttar Pradesh, we have these are the important centers: Likhonia, Basoli, Lori, Kobar, Vijaygarh, etc. Poaching scene of a sambar using a spear. Sambar is a type of deer, as you know. Sambar is a deer. Scene of poaching a Barasinga. So Barasinga is also a deer, with big horn, big antlers. That's called Barasinga. And a poached wild pig. So hunting scene is seen here. Then Garhwal Kuman region in Uttarakhand, Lakhudiyar and Almora, Dalband. So paintings of dancing humans represented like a stick, thin stick. Then Madhya Pradesh, Raigad area, Singanpur, Kabra Hill, Khairpur, etc. So these are the important centers. Madhya Pradesh, Panchamari area. Then South India, we have Karnool, Betamcharla, Mucharla, Chintayani, etc. So see, these are the various themes on which paintings were done. Basically, I told you plants, animals, social and community life, hunting scenes, battle scenes, women collecting, uh, collecting roots, tubers, mushroom around the settlement, or again, male and female genitalia is shown many places. Male and female genitalia. Then sometimes sex scenes are shown. Then right? So dancing scenes. People are hold dancing scenes. People are holding hands and dancing. So these are all shown in the paintings. And what are the colors used? Basically, you see they used um, mineral colors made from minerals and plant extracts. Plant extracts. So colors were made from minerals and plant extracts. For example, hematite. From hematite, they derived red color. Red color from hematite, like that. And now, of course, plant extracts. Some plants give certain colors, juices. And when these paints were applied on the surface of rocks, you have the process of chemical oxidization. There's a chemical reaction. And that is the reason why these paints have remained for such a long time, that the rock has absorbed these colors, and these colors have remained for thousands of years, right? So, Naikar, please write a mail to targetias@byju's.com. You can also mail me. I will forward it to the concerned people. That's the least I can do. Naikar, okay? Just mail me. I'll forward it to the concerned people. Also, throw a mail to targetias@byju's.com. Are you there with me? This is prehistoric paintings. Clear? Similarly, we have Bhimbetka, Madhya Pradesh. In Bhimbetka, there are 800 caves here. So in Bhimbetka, there are 800 caves here. And out of these 800 caves, 500 caves have paintings. 500 caves have paintings on their walls. So paintings are located on the walls and ceilings of the caves. Very near to the ceiling also, we find some paintings. Most of them belong to the prehistoric period. So you can see here paintings of Rhino Mesolithic boar painted in dark red. So boar is shown painted in dark red. Animals like elephants, rhino, boar, barasingha, etc. Then battle scenes are painted in red. Battle scenes are shown in red color, and elephant is shown in white. So from these, animals and plants which are painted, we come to know the flora and the fauna. We can come to know the ecology of the period. What was the environment? What was the environment like? We can come to know the environment or ecology of the period from the flora and the fauna. Because for certain animals to exist and thrive, these animals are shown in paintings. So unless they've seen those animals, they wouldn't have been able to paint. So from that, we can come to know or presume or reconstruct the ecology of that period, of that particular place. What could have been the environment like, right? Forest, thick. So we can presume that there were thick forests, a heavy rainfall area. So like that, we can presume. So these are some of the paintings I have thrown in. You can see here some of the paintings found in some of the caves. So you can see the paintings here. Some rider here is riding a horse. There's a deer here. Okay, there's another deer here, like that. So I've thrown pictures of paintings. These are prehistoric paintings. Somebody is holding a bow and arrow here. This seems to be a horse. Okay, so these are deer, as you can see, paintings. Then paintings of Harappan period. So Harappan period paintings are found on toys and pot shreds, pieces of pottery. Then basically you have birds, animals, some trees like plants are shown. Like for example, you can see trees like people tree, neem tree, date, banana, plants, animals. Okay, geometrical designs are also shown. Drawings of humans are also obtained from some sites. So this is paintings of the Harappan civilization. You can see here, these are the paintings of the Harappans. So there's a man holding a pair of bullocks, driving a pair of bullocks here. These are hunting scenes, bow and arrow. Yes, this painting is done on the stones. These are Harappan period paintings on pot shreds. On the pieces of pots we find. You can see here, look at the hairstyle of the Harappans here. Look at the hairstyle. Okay, this is a unicorn, So because of the chemical reaction, so you can see some person is standing before a unicorn. He's sitting this person is sitting before a unicorn. Look at the hairstyle here, right? So these are paintings on Harappan pots. This is a humped bull. Look at the fish here, like a shark fish. And these are all paintings on Harappan pots. Then we have paintings in the classical age. Basically, they are wall paintings. Wall paintings found at Jogimara, Ajanta, Bagh, Badami, Sittanavasal, etc. So Jogimara, this is in Chhattisgarh, in the Raigad hills of Chhattisgarh. There are some caves here like Jogimara, Sita Bengra, Lakshman Bengra. These are some of the caves on the walls of which we find some paintings. This is the Jogimara cave. You can see on your screen, this is the Jogimara cave in Chhattisgarh. This is the Sita Bengra cave, entrance to the Sita Bengra cave. And inside these caves, we have some paintings. So what are the colors used? What are the themes used? You see humans, elephants, shark fishes, red, yellow, black colors with white as background. And these are the earliest example of Indian wall paintings in the historic age. Earliest example of Indian wall paintings in the historic age, found at Chhattisgarh, Jogimara, Sita Bengra, Lakshman Bengra caves. Then this is Ajanta on your screen. Ajanta. Has anybody been to Ajanta here? Anybody been to Ajanta? I'm sure some of you must have gone to Ajanta and seen the paintings there, the caves there. Can you please raise your hand if you've gone to Ajanta? Nobody's gone to Ajanta here? Not yet? Okay, nobody has gone. Okay. What about Hemalata? Okay, great. Do you remember any of the paintings, Hemalata? You said in one of the class that you're from here, Maharashtra, so I presume you must have gone. Okay, Kennedy wants to visit Ajanta during Bharat Darshan. Great. Nice attitude, Kennedy. All the best. You want to go on government money. So smart. Kennedy is very smart. Buddha sleeping idol. Good, good. All the best for you, Kennedy. Okay. So that should be the motivation so that you can go together on Bharat Darshan. And you clear the exam, they take you on a tour to show India. Okay, great. Now let's come back. You see, I have put a picture of Ajanta caves here on your screen, as you can see. This was discovered by chance in the early part of the 19th century. This is in the Aurangabad district of Maharashtra. This is in the Aurangabad district of Maharashtra, Ajanta. Sometime in 1819 or so, 1817 or 1818, there was a British captain called John Smith of the Madras Presidency. So all these areas came under the Madras Presidency during those days. He, along with a team of his were going on a tiger hunt. They were going on a tiger hunt in the Vagora Hills. These are the Vagora Hills, and you have the deep jungles of the Vagora Hills, thick jungles. They were going for a tiger hunt. From a far off distance, he noticed an arch. You can see here on your screen. This John Smith, through his binoculars, noticed an arch. This is the arch he noticed with his binoculars, and he understood that this is not a natural structure; it is a man-made structure. And they approached. They walked towards walked towards this arch, and that's how it was discovered accidentally. These caves were discovered accidentally in the early part of the 19th century by the British officer John Smith and his team of officers and soldiers who had gone on a tiger hunt in the Vagora Hills. So this is the Vagora River. You can see on your screen, this is the Vagora River here. This picture, the river is dried up, almost dried up. Okay, and these are the Vagora Hills. These are the Vagora Hills. Now, at Ajanta, understand this, there are 29 caves. Some books say 30. Some books say 30, but then there are 29 caves. These are all man-made caves. These are man-made caves. Out of 29 caves, 24 are chaityas. What's a chaitya? Buddhist prayer hall. 4 are chaityas and 25 are viharas. 25 are viharas, meant for the residential purposes of monks. And 4 are chaityas. And these caves were dug up, hewn out, and these are gigantic caves, mind you. So you can imagine, each cave is about at least 50 feet in length, about 50 feet in length, and about 30 feet wide. 30 feet wide, 50 feet in length, and the height is about 15 feet, 15 to 20 feet, about 15 feet in height, 15 to 20 feet in height. And these have been made by Buddhist monks. Inspiration was Lord Buddha. So with hammers and chisels, hammer and chisel, they have worked day and night, and they have dug up or hewn out these or scooped out these caves from the Wagora hills. These are made of basalt. The rock, it's basalt rock. So it has taken them generations. So these caves are from belong to a period from 200 BC to 7th century AD, a period of 900 years. They are from a period of, for a period of, they span over a period of 900 years, from the starting from the Shatavahanas into the early medieval period. So many dynasties have contributed towards these caves, starting from the Shatavahanas. Then we have, of course, the successors of the Shatavahanas, the Guptas later, the Vakatakas, Ikshvakus. All these dynasties contributed towards these caves. And this is very near to an ancient trade route which passes through from Nasik to the from Python to Nasik. So there's an ancient trade route nearby, and many of the trade guilds might have also contributed towards uh, financing these caves. And generally, you see, monks used to live in secluded areas. They engage in spiritual activities, so therefore they prefer to stay away from the population. They live in secluded areas like a hill or a mountain, and only when they want to beg their food, they'll come to the nearby village or town. Now, on the walls of some of these caves, walls and ceilings of some of these caves, we have beautiful paintings. Both Hinayana and Mahayana are represented here. At Ajanta, both Hinayana and Mahayana are represented. So, under Hinayana, as you all know, we have the symbols of the Buddha which were worshipped. Symbols of Buddha were worshipped, and under Mahayana, idol worship was there. Buddha's idols or Bodhisattvas' idols were made and worshipped. So both Hinayana and Mahayana is represented at Ajanta. So on the walls and ceilings, we have beautiful paintings. And Ajanta is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Now, what we need to understand is what is a technique used by the monks to make these paintings. Understand this. What was the technique used by the monks to make these paintings? So, what is the theme here? The theme is entirely Buddhism. The theme of these paintings is entirely Buddhism. Buddha, Lord Buddha, various bodhisattvas, then scenes from the Jataka stories, then important events connected with the life of the Buddha. All these are depicted in the paintings on the walls and ceilings of these caves. Now, if you enter these caves, it is pitch dark. Understand this? It is pitch dark. So, for example, I'm still sitting in a studio here. We have a lot of lights, etc. If I switch off these lights, right, and also the monitor in front of me, what will happen? It will be pitch dark. So these caves are pitch dark, right? But then you take a torch and you flash the light on the ceilings and on the wall. We see beautiful paintings. And during those days, we did not have electricity. As you all know, there was no electricity. How did they paint those walls? That's a big mystery as such. Now, what we are told is, you see, I believe the monks used to fill up the a part of the cave with water. Understand this? So I said each cave is about the minimum 50 feet in length and about 30 feet in width. And let's say I have to use we have to use our imagination here because this is an online class. So imagine what they would do is they will fill up a part of the cave, the floor of the cave with water. So they'll make a bund. They'll make a bund, okay, and they'll fill up that particular part of the cave with water. Then what the monks used to do is, now the question is, did they use fire? Did they light a lamp to generate the light to paint these paintings? No, because if you light a lamp, it will give out soot and smoke, and it will damage the painting. So they couldn't have used a lamp or a fire lamp. Okay, so they had to brighten the cave to make so that they can see what they're painting. So I'm trying to explain to you how did the monks brighten the cave or bring light into the cave. Natural light had to be brought into the cave to see that, so that they can see and paint. I believe they used to fill up the floor of the cave, a part of the cave, with water. Okay, and they would have made a mud sort of a bund which will not allow the water to come out. So they will fill up that part of the cave with water. Then they used to take mirrors. So they will keep a mirror on the floor. Okay, and then some mirrors were attached to the roof of the cave, to the ceiling of the cave. Now the sunlight is falling in from outside. They will they will see that there is a mirror on which the sunlight falls. The sunlight falls on the mirror, and that is reflected back into a mirror which has been attached to the ceiling of the cave. And that mirror will in turn reflect the sunlight onto the water. So that part of the cave which had been filled up with water on the ground is brightened up. Did you understand what happened? What I'm trying to tell you? So the water acts as a mirror, and it will reflect the sunlight onto the cave, the wall and the ceiling of the cave. Did you understand what I just now said? Can you raise your hands? Kennedy, I have already explained what is a chaitya. A chaitya is a Buddhist prayer hall. We have discussed this 15 days back. So they will brighten up a part of the cave with the sunlight. Sunlight is falling on the mirror. Mirror in turn is the sunlight reflection is in turn projected onto another mirror which has been hung on on one corner of the ceiling, and that in turn will reflect the sunlight onto the water which the surface of the cave, the floor of the cave has been filled up with a part of water. So the entire cave is brightened up, right? And then they will make the painting. So how was the painting done? Chaitya is a Buddhist prayer hall, Kennedy. Okay, now we'll come back here. Now imagine this is a piece of this is a wall. Imagine this is a wall. Now imagine this is a wall of a cave or the ceiling of a cave. Now this is not even. This is not even because it is scooped out of the hill. So with hammer and chisel. Therefore, what the monks would do is, let us say they want to do painting on this part of the wall or wall of the cave or this part of the ceiling. So what they'll do is, I believe they should take a roughened up. They should take a sharp instrument, maybe a metal piece or a rock piece, and they'll scratch this surface. Imagine this: they have scratched the surface of the wall with a sharp metal piece or a sharp rock. So they'll roughen it up. Then they should take shell powder. They should take shell powder, that is seashell. They'll powder the seashell, so shell powder. Then wheat flour or rice flour, cow dung, cow dung. So all this was mud. So a little bit of mud also was taken. So cow dung, wheat flour, rice flour, shell powder, stone powder, stone powder. All this was nicely mixed. Okay, mixed with water into a paste. So imagine this is the paste. Okay, so I have paste here with me, something like what do you call a glue. Okay, nicely made of all these materials, and that is applied. That paste is applied on the roughened up surface. So whatever I have scratched in red, and that is the scratched surface of the wall or the ceiling, they'll apply the paste on that roughened up surface. Okay, once that is applied, then they will take chunam, that is lime. They will take lime powder or chunam, or lime is taken. So lime, when you eat pan, when people eat pan, that pan wala will put a small lime paste into the pan leaf, isn't it? So that's called chunam or lime paste. That lime paste so is given this paste on which on this scratch surface on which this shell powder, rice flour, etc. The paste would have been applied. On top of that, there's a white coat of chunam given. So the entire surface becomes white. Then an expert painter will make the sketch. An expert uh, sketch artist will make the sketch. So whatever has to be painted, like let us say a seated Buddha. So this is Buddha here. So like that, he'll make a sketch. And then an expert painter will make the painting. He will do the painting. So this is how the monks used to paint the walls. Now the question is this a fresco? Was the Ajanta painting a fresco? What is a fresco? A fresco is a painting done on a wet plaster. Painting on a wet plaster is called a fresco. So was the Ajanta painting a true fresco? Was the painting done when the plaster was still wet? The answer is no. The answer is no. It is called fresco secco. Understand this. I told you, again I repeat, a part of the wall of the cave was scratched or roughened up with a sharp instrument. Then this paste was applied. A paste made of shell powder, wheat, and rice flour, cow dung, stone powder. They were all mixed with water, made into a paste. And then the paste was applied over the roughened up surface of the wall or the ceiling. Then, even before it dried up, a coat of lime paste was given. A lime wash was given. White color lime wash was given. Now, the Ajanta artist will allow that paste to dry up. So it dries up fully. It becomes part of the wall and it dries up. Then an expert sketch artist will make the sketch, and then the painting was done. So the painting was done after the plaster dried up. Therefore, Ajanta painting is called fresco secco. Understand this? It's called fresco secco. That is, what is fresco secco? Fresco secco is painting done after the plaster had dried up. Now, what is fresco buono? What is fresco buono? Fresco buono, understand these words. Fresco buono is painting done when the plaster was still wet. Again, I repeat, if the monks had done the painting when the plaster was still wet, so they have roughened up a part of the wall. Then they have put that paste consisting of lime powder, shell powder, wheat and rice flour, etc. And then a coat of lime wash was given. And even before the plaster dried up, if the painting was done, that is called fresco buono or true fresco. And by the time the painting dried along with the plaster, by the time the plaster dried up, the painting would have been absorbed completely by the plaster, and it would become part of the wall. That is called fresco buono. But this is not true fresco; it is fresco secco. That is, after the plaster dried up, only then the painting was done. Did you understand what I just now told you? Most of the painting are done inside the caves. Is there any particular reason? Parashuram, how can they do the painting outside? It will not last. The reason why they have lasted for so many thousands of years is because of the fact that they have done inside. They have done the painting inside the cave. And please understand, they would do it in their leisure time. Generally during the rainy season, you understand, not in the rainy season, generally when they were taking rest, when they had no other thing to do, when they were little free, then they will use the time to paint the wall and ceiling of these caves. There was no entertainment for them, isn't it? The monks. Fresco buono is painting done on a wet plaster, Kennedy. Uh, Painting done on a wet plaster is fresco buono. That's called true fresco. Fresco secco is painting done after the plaster had dried up. Did you understand? That is fresco secco. Now, what were the themes painted? Basically, you have There are different themes. Decorative element is also there. Birds, animals, geometric designs. These are decorative elements. Then you have religious elements like Buddha, Bodhisattva, Lokpal. These are all painted. Then who were the ones who did the painting? The monks, the Buddhist monks. Now, very interestingly, you see the Buddhist monk will go to the nearby town or village. He'll go there for what? Begging purpose. So when he went to the houses of the people, the ladies will come out. Generally, it is the female, the lady of the house, the women of the house will come out, and then they will give alms to the monk. The monk, with his sharp eyes, he will notice the hairstyle of the women. He'll notice the hairstyles of the women, what dress she's wearing, what jewelry she's wearing, etc. Now he'll keep that image of the women in his mind, or he may be walking in the town or the village or the city. He'll notice the women with different hairstyles, and he'll keep the image of that hairstyle in his mind, and he'll come back and he'll paint those hairstyles. What we notice is in Ajanta, each of the women have different hairstyles. Each of the women have different hairstyles. Very interesting. And then you have even animals are shown with emotions. Even animals are shown with emotions. Humans and animals are shown with emotions here in Ajanta. Now, Ajanta paintings is called epic style. Understand this? Ajanta painting is called epic style. What is epic style here? Epic style. What is epic style here? For example, let's say this is a cave. Understand this? This is the entrance of a cave. This is the entrance of a cave, and this is the cave inside. Imagine this is the cave inside. Okay, this is the cave inside. And you have a painting here. Understand this? So there are different paintings here. I will draw it like this. This is the wall of the cave. Okay, this is the wall of the cave. So you have, I'm going to number it for our convenience. This is painting number 1. This is 2. This is 3. This is 4. This is 5. So on and so forth. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Now, this is painting number 1. Let's say we as a visitor have entered one of the caves. We have entered the cave here. We've entered the cave here, right? And then we are watching the wall where the paintings are there. And let us say this is a cave which depicts where the paintings depict the life story of the Buddha. The life story of the Buddha. So here, let us say in painting number 1, we see Mahamaya sleeping. Mahamaya is shown sleeping on a cot. In painting number 2, she is experiencing a dream where an elephant is coming and giving her a lotus flower. In painting number 3, she is holding the branch of a tree, of a sal tree, and she is giving birth to the Buddha. Then Buddha, next 4th painting, Buddha is taking 7 steps towards the east. 5th painting is, let's say, the sage Atisha coming and noticing the 32 signs of a Mahapurush on his body. 6th painting is the prince Siddhartha has gone on a tour of the city of Kapilavastu for the first time on his chariot. Like that, the entire story of the Buddha is depicted in the form of a painting. And the end, 13th painting, when you come, you see Buddha lying between 2 sal trees and he is dying. Parinirvana of the Buddha is shown. This is called epic style, where you see the entire story of the Buddha, life story of the Buddha, depicted in the form of a painting in a sequential order. Did you understand? This is called epic style. We see this at Ajanta. Can you raise your hand? Do you understand what I just now told you? That's called epic style of painting. Now, thank you. Now look here. When you enter these caves, I told you it's pitch dark. So the Archaeological Survey of India, it's a challenge for them to keep these paintings intact. Now, when were the Ajanta caves discovered? They were discovered sometime in 1818 or so, 1817, 1818. Now, more than 200 years have passed by. Okay, more than 200 years have passed by since it was first discovered. So when John Smith and his team first saw these paintings, they looked much more clearer than they look now. No? That means the paintings are slowly deteriorating. The clarity of the paintings are slowly deteriorating. What is the reason for that? The reason is, of course, you see on your screen, we have the Vagora River. See here, this is the Vagora River, and these are the Vagora Hills. Now, water is always there in the Vagora River, and then you have evaporation through natural process of evaporation. You have a lot of humidity in the air, so the water evaporates. The water from the river evaporates, and the wind will blow the moisture-laden air into the caves. So the water content in the caves, in the air in the caves is high. So when there is more of moisture in the air, and these moisture-laden wind will enter the caves. So there's more water content in the air. So that will deteriorate the paint, and they have to do chemical. They treat the caves with chemicals so that they can prolong the life of the paintings. So then again, that's a challenge for the ASI. Along with that, we have countless number of bats. So we are going to their homes. Their ancestors were living here. The ancestors of the bats, and that is their home. They have been living there from thousands of years, hundreds of years. So here, more than 1,000 years rather, more than 1,500 years old. So here you have a rat. The bat give feces, bat feces. Then urine is also falling into the ground. So the ASI has to get those caves cleaned, and also um, fumigated, so that the smell of the rat feces and urine to a large extent is minimized. So all this is a challenge for the ASI to keep those paintings intact. No, they're not trying to restore the paintings. They're trying to prolong the life of the paintings through chemical treatment, so that the deterioration can, to a large extent, be reduced. It's slowed down. It will deteriorate one day and it will disappear. But they're trying to reduce the speed at which they are deteriorating by chemical treatment, right? So here that is so this is one thing. And then of course on the ceilings, on one particular ceiling, we have the first wheel of life painting. First wheel of life painting, that is before we are born as a human being. In Buddhist hagiography, I believe we have to be born as a ghost. Then we have, all of us have lived a life in the hell. So we have lived a life in the hell. Then we have lived the life of an animal, then that of a ghost, and ultimately we have become human beings. So that is shown on the ceiling of one of the paintings. The ceilings in one of the paintings uh, show that. The painting, or rather, the painting on one of the ceilings show that, right? So this is about Ajanta. Both Hinayana and Mahayana are depicted here in the in the in the uh, in the caves of Ajanta. And one more thing is, we have book illustration which have been painted. Book illustration. Understand this. What is book illustration? Let me explain to you. What is book illustration? Have I explained to you what is book illustration earlier? Have I explained to you what is book illustration? Do you understand what is book illustration? Can you raise your hand if I have to? No. Okay. Parashuram remembers it. He says yes. No. So what is book illustration? Okay. Let's say, so this is a book. Okay. This is a book in my hand. Okay. Now let's say in one page. In one page, we have the story of the kidnapping of Sita. I'm just giving an example. Or let us say the story of the plan to murder the Buddha. So Devadatta, Buddha's cousin, wanted to kill Buddha, isn't it? So there's a conspiracy hatched. Devadatta joined hands with King Ajatashatru, and both of them plot to kill the Buddha. So what's the plan? The plan is to let loose an elephant called Nalagiri on the Buddha when Buddha is walking the streets of Rajagriha. Okay, so that's the plan. So this plan has been explained in one of the pages of the book, where Ajatashatru and Devadatta, Buddha's cousin, have planned to kill the Buddha by letting loose an elephant on the Buddha. But then this page also explains that when the elephant came charging at the Buddha saw the elephant saw the Buddha, and then the elephant kneeled down before the Buddha in supplication, right? So that is depicted in the form of a painting here. That is depicted in the form of a painting here, wherein we see uh, both Ajatashatru and Devadatta talking with each other secretly, and they have plotted the death of the Buddha by letting loose an elephant on the Buddha. And then the next scene, we see the elephant charging, but then kneeling down before the Buddha. That is shown in the form of a painting here. So what is shown in prose, what is written in prose, is depicted in the form of painting in the other page. That is called book illustrations. And a number of books were illustrated in Ajanta. So a number of stories from books have been illustrated there. Stories have been shown in the form of painting. That is called book illustration. Are you there with me? Yeah, we are also using book illustration even now. That is right. That is called book illustration. So this is about Ajanta. So on your screen, Ajanta, you can see here, all the details are here. Just hold on. Take some supplementary points. Take some supplementary points about Ajanta. Then we'll come to Ajanta proper. We'll discuss about Ajanta. Just hold on. So this is, yeah, take down please. This is a supplement to what is there in the PPTs. Okay, this is a supplement to what is already there in the PPTs. Then please refer to also Nitin Singhania's book. You will definitely get more points. But then whatever I have given as regards painting topic is pretty substantial. You can stick to my PPTs for painting topic. But then please read one book, preferably Nitin Singhania's book. Now, number one, characteristics of Ajanta paintings. Characteristics of Ajanta paintings. What are the characteristics of Ajanta paintings? Number one, yeah. Story and painting side by side. Yeah, that is true, Kennedy. Whatever story has been depicted in prose is shown in the form of painting on the other page. That is called book illustration. Okay. So, what are the features of Ajanta paintings? Number one, fine drawing in Ajanta. Fine drawing. Fine drawing in Ajanta is most curvaceous. Fine drawing in Ajanta is most curvaceous, rhythmic, and musical. Number one, fine drawing in Ajanta is most curvaceous. That is, you have beautiful curves. For example, if a woman is depicted, she is shown with all the curves of her body. Or if an animal is depicted, the way the animal looks, like an elephant, for example, an elephant with all the proper curves of an elephant's body. So that's what it is. So fine drawing in Ajanta is most curvaceous, rhythmic, and musical. Number two, expression of sentiments and emotions. Expression of sentiments and emotions. Expression of sentiments and emotions. Number three, even animals and birds are shown emotional. Number three, even animals and birds are shown emotional. When animals and birds are shown emotional. Number 4, expression of emotions through hand postures. Expression of emotions through hand postures. Expression of emotions through hand postures. Hemel, um, I have got the information that they have called you 2 times, but you did not pick up the call. So please, you throw a mail to me or to Target IAS. I'll forward the mail to you because I got a response from the team that they tried to connect with you, but you did not pick up the call 2 times. Did not pick DNP twice it was shown. So therefore, you please mail them again, and also you can throw a mail to me, and I can forward it to the concerned people. Is it Hemil? Right. So they called you did not pick up. Okay. So you please connect with them. They will get in touch with you. Okay. We'll come back. I'll move on here. So expression of emotions through hand postures or hand gestures. Hand postures or hand gestures. Next, number 5, use of limited colors in creating different color schemes. Use of limited colors. Use of limited colors. Use of limited colors in creating different color schemes. In creating different color schemes. Next, variety of life has been shown. Variety of life. Variety of life has been shown with full ornamentation. Variety of life has been shown with full ornamentation. Variety of life has been shown with full ornamentation. Parashuram, can you be specific? What work plans and strategies you're talking about? In Ajanta? You're talking about Ajanta? No, 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 no. No, no, the theme was entirely Buddhism. Buddhism is a religion of peace, isn't it? So Buddhism, they showed about only themes are related to the Buddhism. Lord Buddha, Bodhisattvas, Jataka stories, important events connected with the life of the Buddha. Only those are shown. Okay. So variety of life with full ornamentation. Then variety of life has been shown with full ornamentation. Then women in ideal form. Next point, woman in ideal form, graceful and divine. Graceful and divine. So that is, women are shown with a lot of respect. That is, there is no uh, emphasis on the contours of a woman's body, etc. Those things are not shown as it is shown in in temple architecture, in sculptures. The monks, the Buddhist monks, were the ones who made these paintings. So they have shown the women in the paintings with a lot of respect. So women in ideal form, graceful and divine, rather than physical representation and worldly charm. Rather than physical representation, and worldly charm. Number 8, Hairstyles are different for each female. Hairstyles. Hairstyles are different for each female. So each female has a different hairstyle. Hairstyles are different for each female. Number 9, decoration of ceiling, pillars, and windows with paintings. Decoration of ceilings, pillars, and windows with paintings. Okay, decoration of ceilings, pillars, and windows with paintings. So this is about Ajanta paintings. These are the features of Ajanta paintings. So rest of the information is there in the PPT. We can discuss that. Can I go there? Can I go there now? Okay. So here you can see here Ajanta caves. Make it a point to visit Ajanta. Not very far from Shirdi. If you go to Shirdi for a visit, then you can visit Ajanta also. So here you can see World Heritage Site of Ajanta. Ajanta, about 107 kilometers from Aurangabad district of Maharashtra, in the basin of the river Bagheera or Bagora. So the name of the river is Bagora or Vagora, and the hills, it's also the Vagora Hills. It's also called the Bagora or Vagora Hills. The name of the hill is Vagora Hill, and the name of the river is also Vagora or Bagora. Accidentally discovered in 1819 by John Smith and Company. So they were on a tiger hunt. John Smith, belonging to the Madras Presidency, along with his team, discovered this particular Ajanta caves. Hyun Sang also visited this particular site when he had come to India. There are 29 caves here. Some books say 30 caves, so don't get worried. Some books say 29, some books say 30. There are 4 chaityas. If there are 29 caves, there are 4 chaityas. If there are 30 caves, then there are 5 chaityas. Right? Similarly, 29 caves and 25 viharas. 30 caves and 25 viharas. So 29 caves, 4 viharas, and 4 chaityas and 25 viharas. So 4 chaitya, 25 viharas are there. And these rock cut caves are made from 2nd century BC to 7th century AD. And these are all the dynasties who patronized these caves. Shatavahanas, Shungas, Kanma, Kushanas, Guptas, Ikshvaku, Vakataka, Chalukya dynasties, etc. Main theme is Buddhism, Buddha, Bodhisattvas, incidents drawn out from the Jatakas. So look at the paintings here. These are I have put some pictures here for you. They must have built a scaffold, Hemlata. They must have built a scaffold for them to paint. So they must have put the wooden bamboo scaffold or wooden scaffold and then stood on them and then they painted. But then for them to paint the ceiling, it would have taken a lot of effort because they have to keep their head up and then paint. So not easy, but they have done it. So look at the paintings here. Look at the elephant painting. Painting of elephant. Then Bodhisattva Padmapani. So this is the best representation of Indian painting. Bodhisattva Padmapani in cave number 1. So this is the Bodhisattva holding a Padma or a lotus in his hand. And look at the contours of his body. Bodhisattva Padmapani is slightly bent, right? Look at his eyes in a very contemplative state of mind. His face is so serene and calm. Look at his hands, fingers, etc. So this is the best representation of Indian painting in the ancient times. Bodhisattva Padmapani is in cave number 1. So this is the painting of a princess. So dying princess here. Dying princess painting. So this is the subjugation of Nalagiri. So painting of subjugation of Nalagiri in cave number 17. So most of the women depicted are wearing Maharashtrian and Telugu type of dress. what traditionally Maharashtrians and Telugu women wear. That is the type of dress depicted in the paintings in Ajanta. So I mentioned it here, and each of the women have a different hairstyle. Look at her hairstyle. Her hairstyle is different. Her hairstyle is different. So monks have studied the women hairstyles beautifully. So this is another painting, like a frame, a wooden frame. So I have mentioned, these paintings. Go through them. So the seven Manshi Buddhas, totally the Buddha who was yet to come is Maitreya Buddha. So we have seven Buddhas who have been depicted, including Siddhartha Gautama. The Buddha who is yet to come is also that is Maitreya Buddha. So Vipashian, Sikhi, Vishnavasu, Kakachanda, Kanakamuni, Kashyapa. So these are all, and then Sakyamuni Buddha is the seventh Buddha. Yet to come Buddha is Maitreya Buddha. And again, they are shown couples here, paintings with couples. So I have given you all the paintings. So this is the declining phase of Ajanta art tradition. Declining phase, I believe this is. So this is the Ajanta paintings for you. So it is called fresco secco, shell powder, stone powder, cow dung, wheat flour. They were all made into paste. And I told you first the wall was scratched, it was roughened up. Then this paste was taken consisting of shell powder, stone powder, cow dung, wheat flour, rice flour, etc. Mixed into a paste, applied on that roughened up surface. Then a quick lime wash was given. And then the outline was made with red clay. And an expert painter painted it after the plaster dried up. Therefore, Ajanta painting is called fresco secco. So these murals are what? Murals are paintings done on a static surface, on a fixed surface. Paintings done on a static surface are called murals. Fresco secco is when the painting was done after the plaster dried up. Unlike fresco buono. Okay. So fresco buono is true fresco. When the plaster was still wet, then when you do the painting, it's called fresco buono or true fresco. This is fresco secco when the plaster had dried up. Okay, tempera style. Kennedy is asking what is tempera style. I'll come to that. Now, what is tempera style? Tempera, look here, understand this. What is tempera? Tempera. Now, let's take a glass piece. Understand this. This is a piece of glass. Okay. Kennedy and others, look here. Let's say this is a piece of glass, right? Now, I take a paint with a brush. I mixed the brush with some paint and I try to paint on this glass. My question to you is, will the paint stick on the glass? Kennedy, can you answer that? Will the paint stick on the glass? My answer is no. You know why it will not stick? Because the paint is very, very soft, very, very smooth. The surface is very, very smooth. Okay. Hemalata also says no. So it will not stick properly. It will give out smudges. There will be a smudge of a paint. It will not be a clear, the paint will not stick to the surface of the glass clearly. Now, you take some egg white. Understand this. Egg, the chicken egg has a yellow portion and a white portion. So what the monks used to do is, they will take the white portion, mix the paint with egg white. So it is sticky in nature. Then they will paint on that surface, a smooth surface. So what will happen? The paint will easily stick to the surface because of the sticky nature of the egg white. Yeah. Okay. Later they began to mix oil instead of egg white. How many egg whites how many eggs they have to break to make so much of paint, to paint so much of surface? Therefore, they began to use oil. That is called tempera technique. Did you understand? Kennedy, tempera technique is that where the paint was mixed with some sticky substance. Initially egg white and later oil. That's called tempera. Okay. Yeah, oily or sticky material is required. So here, look at the colors used at Ajanta. Red ochre or Dhaturaga, vivid red, Kumkumal Sindhura, then Harita yellow ochre, Haritala, indigo blue, green, that is orpiment, lapis lazuli blue, Kajal, the lamp black, then chalk white, Khadimati, Teravarte, Geru. So these are the various colors used in Ajanta paintings. Then, according to art historian Vachaspati Gairola, he divides the Ajanta paintings into three categories. Decorative. So decorative consists of birds, animals, floral decorations, demons, fairies. Portrait consists of Buddha, Bodhisattva, kings, queens. Descriptive paintings related to Jataka stories. So decorative, portrait, descriptive. Then I have given you important paintings in a chart on your screen. Cave number one. In cave number one at Ajanta, we have these paintings. Bodhisattva Padmapani. Most famous painting is that of Bodhisattva Padmapani. So Bodhisattva Padmapani is holding a Padma or a lotus in his hand. Then Miracle of Shravasti. You remember I told you the story of Buddha. Miracle of Shravasti is fire and water emanated from Buddha's body at the same time. Fire and water sprang out from his body at the same time. Welcome of foreign tourists by King Pulakeshi II. So Pulakeshi II is welcoming the ambassador sent by Khusro II of Persia in 625 AD. Remember, the Badami Chalukyan king, greatest of the Badami Chalukyas was Pulakeshi II, who was later killed by the Pallava king Narasimhavarman I. So Pulakeshi sent an ambassador to Persia, to the court of Khusro II. And Khusro II of Persia, the king of Persia, in turn returned an ambassador to the court of Pulakeshi. And in cave number one at Ajanta, we see Pulakeshi receiving that Persian ambassador sent by Khusro II of Persia. Remember that? Hello, can you raise your hand? This is in cave number one. Cave number two, dream of Queen Maya. Now, Mahamaya is experiencing the dream where elephant comes and gives her a lotus flower. Scenes of a pregnancy. 7 steps of the Buddha. Remember, I told you the story of the Buddha. Buddha took 7 steps towards the east. That is shown in cave number 2. Cave number 9. So we have these paintings. Go through it. Important paintings I mentioned in a chart. Then these are the books illustrated at Ajanta. A number of books came to be illustrated, textbooks illustrated. Mahaparinirvana textbook, Jataka stories, Samyukta Nikaya, Dhammaka Sutra, etc. Then Ashwagosha's Lalita Vistara, Saundara Nandana, Kalpana Mandika. Not memorized, Kennedy. You just make a 250 word answer. I would suggest make a 200 to 250 word answer for Ajanta paintings and you keep it. So you mentioned the technique, mentioned about these caves, then briefly how they were discovered, how many caves are there, to 29 caves, out of which 4 are chaityas, 25 are viharas. Then the theme is Buddhism, the time period of these caves, what are the themes, various aspects, whatever I've discussed, you discuss that in the answer. In 250 words, you write, keep it ready and keep it. What are the colors used? Books illustrated, you want to give, if you give 2-3 examples of the books illustrated, both Mahayana, Hinayana is depicted in Ajanta paintings. So all those things you mentioned. So both Hinayana and Mahayana are present at Ajanta. The latter had a major influence. Then the first wheel of life painting is in Ajanta. I told you, you see, this is the first wheel of life painting in Ajanta. So before we are born as a human being, we are supposed to be born in hell, life in the animal world, life as a ghost, etc. That is shown. The Ajanta painting is called epic style of painting. So stories are depicted in the form of paintings. And then most of the paintings have Maharashtrian and Telugu ethnic types. People are shown wearing Maharashtrian or Telugu dress on their bodies. Did you understand? This is Ajanta. Clear? Ajanta paintings. Okay. Then we come to Bagh. So again, three areas belong to the Gupta period: Ajanta caves, Bagh caves, and Siddhanamasal. They all belong to the Gupta period. So Bagh is in Madhya Pradesh. Bagh caves on the banks of the Bagh river, a tributary of the Narmada in Madhya Pradesh. There are 9 caves here discovered by Dangerfield. So the technique is tempera technique. What is tempera technique? Tempera technique is here we have no plaster method used in Bagh. You have the wall of the caves in Bagh. 9 caves are there. So directly a lime wash was given on those caves. On the surface, lime wash was given, and then once the lime wash dried up, then the paintings were done. There's no plaster used. like in Ajanta at Bagh, and that is called tempera technique. Tempera is, as you know, painting done on a dry, on a dry surface, and of course they have used something which will stick to the surface. Tempera technique. So Bagh caves. These are the Bagh caves in Madhya Pradesh. So what are the famous caves? Cave number 2, Pandav Leni. Lena or Leni is a cave in Marathi language. So Pandav Leni, caves of the Pandavas. Famous painting is Bodhisattva Padmapani. Then cave number 3 is Hathi Khana, where we have a series of elephants shown. So these are the important paintings. So go through it. You understand? So look at the pictures here. These are the Bagh cave paintings at Bagh in Madhya Pradesh. The theme is again Buddhism. Please understand, in Bagh, the theme is again Buddhism. So painters are not secular, that is, theme is only Buddhism. Various phases of human life is shown, similar to those of Ajanta. Paintings are influenced by daily life. Colors and shadows are lovable. Local mineral oils have been used. Drawings were made on the dried surface, painted with lime. So smooth surface of the wall was painted with lime, and then the drawings were made on the dried surface. So this is Bagh paintings. Then we come to Badami. Badami in Karnataka, Bagalkot district of Karnataka, ruled by the Chalukya dynasty, Chalukyas of Badami. There are 4 caves here, 4 rock-cut caves. 3 belong to Brahmana religion, 1 belong to Jainism. And cave number 3 is of Vaishnavism. So in this cave number 3 the cave paintings here resemble those of Ajanta. So this is cave number 3. Inside this cave, we have found paintings. And these paintings in cave number 3 at Badami look like that of Ajanta. So paintings of Badami. And then, so we have expression of emotions here on the wall paintings. And then we have at Badami, we have the image of Shiva shown with 9 pairs of hands. So each pair represents different position of Bharatanatyam. So this is a sculpture, not a painting, obviously. But in the context, I put it. In this context, I put it because you can see here, Shiva is shown with 9 pairs of hands. And each pair of hand represents different postures of Bharatanatyam dance. So this is very unique to Badami. This is found in Badami in Karnataka. So here again, Badami, queen in attendance, painting important paintings. Indra Sabha. So Indra is sitting in his court. These are the various apsaras. You see the apsaras here. These are all the apsaras surrounding Indra. Okay. Then Sittanavasal. Sittanavasal is in Pudukkottai district of Tamil Nadu. Here we have caves built by Mahendravarman I and Narasimhavarman I. The Pallava kings, Mahendravarma and Narasimhavarma, and they contain Jain paintings. So Sittanavasal is about Jain paintings. Understand this? You can see here, these are the Sittanavasal caves. And you can see here, a Jain is collecting lotus from a pond. So this is a picture of a Jain. You can see a Jain. So he's wearing an underwear here and he's collecting lotus from a pond. Okay, you can see that. Can you see the Jain here? So he is collecting lotus from a pond. So these are Sittanavasal caves. Then Ellora paintings. So about 100 kilometers from Ajanta is Ellora, again in Maharashtra, Ellora caves. So, so here there are about 34 caves here. Actually, make the correction. There are 34 caves here, and these caves are of sandstone in the Charanandri Hills. Charanandri Hills. They have been scooped out from the Charanandri Hills, and all the 3 religions are represented at Ellora. Ajanta, only Buddhism is their theme. Whereas at Ellora, all the 3 religions, Hinduism, Buddhism, and Jainism, is represented at Ellora. So Ellora is secular in nature. All the 3 religions are represented here. The paintings are influenced by Ajanta, but the style is different. Right? So all the 3 religions are represented. Buddhism, Jainism, Hinduism. Yes, Hemalata. So what are the characteristics of Ellora paintings? Heads are bent unusually, arms are angular, private parts are concave, nose is sharp, eyes are made large, like that. Important paintings I mentioned. Shiva dancing the Tandava, a battle scene, God riding a mythical beast or a Sardula, etc. These are the important paintings. Ellora caves, they all belong to the Rashtrakuta period, you know. The Rashtrakutas were of Kannada origin, their mother tongue was Kannada. They ruled these areas of present-day Maharashtra, the Rashtrakutas. And these Ellora caves belong to the Rashtrakuta cave period. So these are the Ellora paintings, as you can see. All the three religions are represented here. Okay. Then we come to pre-medieval. Are you there with me, all of you? Clear? All of you here? Did you understand? If you raise your hands, I can go forward another few minutes before we go for a lunch break. Okay, good. The pre-medieval period. Pre-medieval period, we have transition from wall paintings to miniature paintings. Transition from wall paintings to miniature paintings. So there's a transition from wall paintings to miniature paintings. Now, what is the reason for this transition? Why? So here, please understand, by early medieval period, Buddhism became weak. We have looked at the history of Buddhism. Uh, it was mostly confined to Eastern India under the Palas. Then we have Bhaktiar Khalji's invasion. Bhaktiar Khalji conquered Eastern India and he destroyed the Sena dynasty, finished off the Sena dynasty, plundered and looted the Buddhist viharas and sanghas. There was a lot of wealth in these Buddhist viharas and sanghas. He plundered and looted them. So Buddhism lost royal patronage and also became weak because of repeated Turkish attacks. Now, Buddhists were the ones who used to do wall paintings. So once Buddhism became weak, automatically wall paintings also became weak, right? So weakening of Buddhism because wall paintings were done by Buddhists. Secondly, advancement of sculpture. So emphasis was given on sculpture and political instability of the period. Politically, the atmosphere was very, very unstable rather. Then emphasis was given on sculpture and Buddhism became very weak. Because of these three reasons, we have transition from wall paintings to miniature paintings. What are miniature paintings? I'll tell you in some time. So we'll come back here. Take a small note. Take a small note. What are miniature paintings? So take a small note. Miniature painting. So did you understand what is the reason for the transition from wall paintings to miniature paintings in pre-medieval period? The weakening of Buddhism, emphasis given on sculpture, political instability of the period. Because of these three reasons, we have emphasis given on miniature paintings. Miniature painting. So understand what is miniature paintings. Miniature paintings, number one. So write down. The word miniature is derived from the Latin word minimum. The word miniature is derived from the Latin word minimum, which means red lead paint. Red lead paint, which means red lead paint. Miniatures are small and detailed paintings. Miniatures are small and detailed paintings. Miniatures are small and detailed paintings. Next subheading, preconditions. What are the preconditions for miniature painting? Preconditions. Number one, painting not to be larger than 25 square inch. Painting not to be larger than 25 square inch. Painting not to be larger than 25 square inches. Painting not to be larger than 25 square inches. Number two, subject to be painted in not more than 1/6 of the actual size. 1/6 of the subject to be painted in not more than subject to be painted in not more than 1/6 of the actual size. Subject to be painted in not more than 1/6 of the actual size. Example, an adult head of 9 inches, an adult head, an adult head, an adult head of 9 inches would not be painted larger than 1.5 inches. Would not be painted more than larger than 1.5 inches. I repeat, an adult head of 9 inches would not be painted larger than 1.5 inches. Then, next subheading, Indian miniature paintings. Indian miniature paintings. Number 1, under that you write down, human figure shown with side profile. Human figure shown with side profile. Human figure shown with side profile. What is side profile? Hello? That is, I'm facing you. Okay. This is front profile. Side profile is sideways. Okay. The face is shown sideways, like this. Did you get me? This is side profile. Hello? This is side profile. Excuse my drawing, but then that's fine, Hemlata. This is just to convey the information. Side profile. No, the nose was generally shown longer. So, okay. So, human figure shown with side profile have bulging eyes, pointed nose, and slim waist. So, have bulging eyes. Second point, please explain which point. Subject to be painted in not more than 1/6 of the actual size. Subject to be painted in not more than 1/6 of the actual size. For example, an adult head of, see, we are all adults, right? So generally the adult head is 9 inches, 9 inches wide. But that is not shown more than 1.5 inches. In the painting, that is not shown more than 1.5 inches. Did you understand, Kennedy? Subject to be painted in not more than 1/6 of the actual size. For example, an adult head of 9 inches would not be painted larger than 1.5 inches. Kennedy, did you get me? Kennedy has an internet problem. Okay, we move on. Okay. So human figures shown with side profile have bulging eyes, pointed nose, slim waist. Then, number 2, Rajasthani miniatures. So one below the other, you write. I'll use another page. Number 2, Rajasthani miniatures. Rajasthani miniatures. Skin color of characters is brown. Skin color Skin color of characters is brown. Then Mughal miniatures. Mughal miniatures, skin color fairer. Skin color of characters is fairer. Then divine beings like Krishna, they are shown blue. Divine beings are shown blue. Women are shown with long hair. In the paintings, women are shown with long hair. Eye and hair. Eye and hair are black. Eye and hair are shown black. Eyes and hair are black. Men, how are men shown in the paintings? They are shown wearing traditional clothes. They are shown wearing traditional clothes. Turban on head. Turban on the head. Then, next paragraph. Miniatures were often painted on either books or albums. Miniatures were often painted either on books or albums. Miniatures were often painted on either books or albums. Were often painted on either books or albums on perishable material, on perishable material such as palm leaves, cloth, and paper. On perishable material, including palm leaves, cloth, and paper. They developed between 9th century and 11th century AD. Miniature paintings developed between 9th century to 11th century AD, found in both Eastern and Western India. Eastern plus Western regions. Found in both Eastern and Western India. So this is a short note on miniature paintings. So I think I've run out of time. We'll go for a lunch break. Hello, are you there with me? Have you taken down? Any doubts here before we disperse for lunch? Hello? No doubts? So can we go for a lunch break now? All of you, can you raise your hands? Eastern region, yeah. Both Eastern India and Western India. Ganesh, both Eastern and Western parts of India. So we'll meet now. It is 1-5. We'll meet at 2-5. We'll meet at 2-5. Okay, we'll meet at 2-5. Carry on. We'll meet exactly at 2-5 and continue this topic of painting. Then we'll do other topics like dance, education, science and tech, and music. Music is not my cup of tea, but then I'll try my best. I have never been able to teach music properly. But then I'm a history teacher, don't blame me. But I have given you the best of information. In music topic, the best of information is there. You just stick to that information enough and try to understand. Technical aspects of music, sa re ga ma pa and all that is not my cup of tea. But then let us hope to do the best. So we'll come back here after a 1 hour break. 2-5 we meet. Carry on.